Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku had a gray jacket problem. If you guys enjoy this what if movie, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story MikoSticks from Wattpad. So let's start the video. //Katsuki 𝗵𝗫𝗄𝑣// today was gonna be like normal. Extras trying to date me, touch me, talk to me. Why can't they just take the hint and F off? I mean, I don't blame them. Who wouldn't want to date me? I'm in first hour right now. 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆 is talking to me even though I'm not paying attention. Alright class, today we have a new transfer student. A boy with curly green/black hair walked in. He had big emerald eyes. And 4 freckles on each cheek. He looked no taller than 5 feet 4 inches. Hello, my name is Izuku midoriya. I was originally born here in Japan but moved to America, and well, now I'm back. Aizawa told him where he would sit at, which was right in front of me. I couldn't stop looking at him. Why is he so intriguing? 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆 noticed I was starting at him. Yo bakugo, you good? He nudged my shoulder. F off //Izuku 𝗵𝗫𝗄𝑣// I wanted to leave so bad. A pair of ruby eyes were looking at me the whole time I introduced myself. I tried my best not to look that direction. I had to sit in front of the boy whose ruby eyes belonged to. When I sat down, I could tell he was staring at me until one of his friends asked if he was okay. The day went by quick. It's finally lunch. The boy with red eyes, I hear about him everywhere I go. I'm guessing he's really popular. So far 6 people asked him out today, which he replied with a F off or no. Is he some type of big shot in this school? I grab my lunch and sit at table no one was at. I was used to sitting alone, so I didn't really mind it. //Katsuki 𝗵𝗄𝑣// I saw the nerd eat alone at lunch. I kept glancing at him. When I glanced at him again, he was gone. I look around the lunchroom, finding him walking out of the lunchroom. Where is he going? He barely ate his food. //Izuku 𝗵𝗄𝑣// I dumped my lunch into the trash bin. I wasn't really hungry, I was just tired. I went back to the classroom. I crossed my arms on the desk and put my head on my arms. Then sleep got the better of me. //Katsuki 𝗵𝗄𝑣// I walked into the classroom after yelling at a few extras who asked me out. I saw the nerd sleeping. He looked really peaceful. I nudged his shoulder. Hey nerd. Wake up, class is about to start. I think I was a little too loud cause he flinched as his seat. Thank you. I sat back in my seat. I wanted to talk to him more, so I passed him a note. I passed the note to him, making sure Aizawa didn't see. His handwriting is really feminine. I just want school to end so I can walk with him. He has kinder an attitude. He's not like most people at UA. I just can't put my finger on it. It was raining and neither of us brought an umbrella. While we were walking, Izuku's shoulders were scrunched up, his fists were clenched and his teeth were chattering. Izuku, take my coat. He looked at me, then back in front of him. No thanks, he mumbled. Why can't he just take the jacket? Come on, you might catch a cold. Then so be it, this little, I think I like this nerd. I put the coat around his shoulders. He let it happen. The walk there was really quiet. Apparently he lives only a few blocks down from me. I walked him to his door. Izuku, let's hang out sometime. He paused midway of opening his front door. I'll pass, okay. I smiled at him. When he closed the door, I sprinted down the street. //Izuku 𝗵𝗄𝑣// he keeps trying to talk to me, which I kinda don't like. He asked me if I wanted to hang out, but I said no. He smiled and said okay. I shut the door and saw him sprint down the street. I remembered I still had his coat. I quickly opened the door. Wait. Your coat, I yelled. No thanks. It gives me an excuse to see you thoroughly. Oh, why does he keep trying? By Izuku. I shut my door and sighed. I put his coat in the washer. My mom wasn't here cause of her new shift. I took the diner out of the fridge. I put on a movie and accidentally fell asleep early. Because I fell asleep so early, I woke up around 3 a.m. I tried going back to bed, but I couldn't. So I did something I'd regret when I get to school. I binge-watched movies until I had to get ready for school. Light started showing through the curtains in the living room. I checked my phone and it was 6:54. My mom came downstairs asking why I was up so early. I told her what happened and she laughed. I took a shower, brushed my teeth and hair, then put on my uniform. When I was finished it was 7:25. I decided to walk to school early. I said my goodbyes to my mom and left for school. //𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗕𝗓𝗏 I made my way to school. No one was in that classroom yet, so I fell asleep. Right when I was about to fall asleep, Katsuki woke me up. "Hey Izuku," I gave him a tired glare. I remembered that I forgot to give him his jacket today. I face-palmed myself. "Izuku, you okay?" I cupped my face with both of my hands. "I forgot your jacket at my house." When I said it, it was a bit muffled. I looked up at him and he smirked. "That's okay. I'll just have to come over and get it." "Nope. No you won't. I'll just bring it tomorrow." "He's not coming over. I'll come by later on today." Did he not just hear me? Whatever, the lunch bell rang. I made my way to the lunchroom. Katsuki sat down at his table. When I walked past him he said something. "Izuku, come sit with me." I kept walking. I heard his friends start to laugh. Damn, he just ignored the majesty. I got my lunch and sat down at a table far from everyone. I wasn't hungry again, so put my head down and fell asleep. //Katsuki_V///. What will it take for him to actually look my way? He was sitting at a lunch table alone, far from everyone. He does his own thing and doesn't care what people think of him. I like that about him the most. I look at him again and he's asleep again. I guess he didn't get much sleep. The lunch bell rang and everyone started clearing the lunchroom. I was in class and realized I forgot to wake him up. Class was about to start, so I guess I'll just be late. I got up and went to the lunchroom. There he was. His head was in his arms, peacefully sleeping. I walked to him and shook him. "Hey babe, get up, class started." He looked around him, then back at me. "Come on, class started, we have to go." He got up and started walking, leaving me behind. "Zuku, wait for me." I caught up to him. "So what are we gonna do at you house?" I said with a smile. "Get your jacket. Then you're gonna leave." I looked at him. "So watch a movie and have a conversation sounds fun." He stopped walking and looked at me. "Why? What? No." When we got in the classroom people were giving him weird looks. "Why is Katsuki with that nerd?" He stopped midway through the door, looked at who said it, and sat down in his seat. School ended and Izuku was packing his things. I walked to him with my things. "Ready?" He ignored me and started walking. When we were outside, Kirishima and Mina asked if I wanted to go do karaoke. Sorry guys, I'm hanging out with Izuku today." I looked at Izuku and he just kept walking, leaving me behind, wink with a frown. They looked at Izuku, then back at me. Okay dude, maybe next time." I nod and caught up with Izuku. I tried holding his hand but he put his hands in his pockets. "Stop," he muttered, not even looking at me. We arrived at his house. "Your mom isn't here." He got my jacket out of the dryer. "Nope." He walked to the door and opened it. "Izuku, I wanna hang out." I started hugging him. "Okay fine, just get off." He closes the door and went to the cabinet. He popped popcorn. "Movie time. Movie time. Movie time." I started cheering. Izuku brought popcorn to his room. He got 2 fluffy baby blue blanket out of his closet. Threw the other one. "Baby, we can share one blanket." //Izuku_V///. He keeps calling me baby and babe. He tried to hold my hand. He tries his best to hang out with me, and he's calling me by my first name. This is getting annoying. I don't really mind him calling me by my first name, but everything else, I just don't see the necessity of it. We decided on a random movie. We put on a movie called on Netflix called Christopher Robin. About 30 minutes into the movie we fell asleep. My head was on his right bicep. We both woke up. "Izuku, let's do this again sometime." Why? Why does he want to hang out with me? We are 2 completely different people. I like to keep to myself and he is really extroverted. "No thanks." He smiled at me again. "I'll see you tomorrow, Izuku." He walked out the door. I saw the same jacket on the couch. Not this time. By the time I opened the door, he was nowhere to be seen. My phone went off. It was from an unknown number. I am not forgetting this time. The only reason why I'm talking to him is because of this stupid jacket. Once I give it back, he'll finally leave me alone. //Katsuki_P_O_V/// I'm not gonna give up till he looks at me the way I look at him. I walk into school with Mina, Kirishima, Siro, and Denki. I felt something shove into my chest. I look down and it's Izuku. He looks kinda nervous and mad. His hand is on the jacket, and the jacket is folded touching my chest. Take it. Mina, Kirishima, Siro, and Denki look at Izuku in shock. Did he just touch the... Oh my god, Mina always jokes around about how people see me as royalty. I hug Izuku. Guys, this is mine, they all stop. Izuku shoved me off him and slapped me. Tears were falling out of his eyes and he looked mad. He walked off without any other word. Izuku, wait, I turn the corner and he's gone. I walk back to Mina and them. Is he seriously your boyfriend? I pick up the jacket. It was just a joke, I didn't want it to be though. Hey Baku bro, even if you do swing that way, well, still be here for you no matter what. I walked away trying to find Izuku. No luck. I went to first hour and he isn't in first hour nor second. I went looking for him again. I went to look in a bathroom. And there he was in a corner sleeping with tear-stained cheeks. Izuku. I lightly shook him. He woke up and looked at me. He got up and muttered, I'm sorry, then left me in the bathroom alone. If he's sorry for slapping me, I deserved it. When I went back to class, he was there. His chin propped up by his hand. Writing down notes. School's finally over and tomorrow is the weekend. I look up and Izuku is already walking out the door. Izuku, wait, of course he keeps walking. I think I really messed up. I finally caught up to him. Izuku, I'm sorry, I really am //Izuku P_O_V// I kinda feel bad. The reason I slapped him is because I freaked out. At my old school in America, a rumor around the school was said about me how I'd F guys for free. Every day they would call me names and stuff. So I eventually isolated myself. I didn't want the school to be like my other, so I freaked out and slapped him. Katsuki caught up to me after I tried leaving him. Izuku, I'm sorry, I really am. What a drag this is. It's whatever, I'm sorry for slapping you. He smiled at me. It's okay, Izuku. Let's do something today. I give up. I give up. Why can't he leave me alone? No, baby. Please. My face turned red. Stop yelling, I said, looking around hoping no one heard what he said. He grabbed my hand and started running towards a cafe. Kaken, slow down. He stopped running. He looked back at me. Kaken. My face turned red again. Sorry, it slipped out. He smiled at me for the 5th time today. It's okay, I like it. But every time you call me Kaken, I get to call you baby. I was gonna protest, but he walked into the cafe with my hands still in his. A waitress came up to us. What a lovely couple. Once again my face turned red. I quickly snatched my hand away from his. Kaken hugged me. I know, isn't he just appealing? I nudged him in the stomach with my elbow. We were seated by a window. Izuku, spend the night at my house tonight? No. It'll pass. I knew he wouldn't give up without getting what he wants. He started to talk really loud. Baby, pleasey. People started to look at us. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Please. Just one time, baby. Why is he doing this? Oh my god. Okay, fine, just lower your voice. After we left the cafe. On the way there he kept talking about random stuff. I just kept quiet. My mom and dad are on a business trip, so I guess it's just me and you this weekend. Katsuki led me to his bedroom. Baby, tell me about yourself. He started to whine. I kinda got used to the babe and baby thing. What do you want to know? How about this? I ask you one question, then you'll ask me one. That's why I slapped you. Katsuki looked down. Izuku, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's okay. It felt kinda good talking to someone. I don't really know how to explain it, but every time he's around me my heart kinda, and when I mean kinda I mean just feels weird, like in a good way. Izuku, let's order pizza. I nodded. After 20 minutes pizza came. We ate pizza while we finished Christopher Robin cause we didn't finish it at my house. Izuku, do you like me? I don't know. You kinda just didn't give me a choice to talk and be around you. He kept staring at me. My face turned red. I looked back at him. Stop staring at me. I looked away. He grabbed my jig. Izuku, you're really appealing. 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝐻. My heart started to beat really fast. I slapped his hand away from me and backed up, accidentally falling off the bed. I stared at the floor with wide eyes. I touched my cheek, the one he touched. Did he really just say that, I thought? Izuku. I'm sorry, he picked me up and put me back on the bed. It's true though, Izuku. I like you a lot. Stop, oh my god, my heart keeps beating so fast. Stop it, he made me face him. He grabbed my cheek again. He leaned in and !! Izuku _P_O_V// he leaned in and kissed me. But he's a kisser. I kissed him back. He my lips asking for entrance and I let him in. I didn't fight for demps. I don't know why I'm letting him kiss me. He moved so I was on my back and he was in between my legs. He started on my neck. 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆𝗏. He kept on my neck. I didn't want this to go any further. I wasn't ready. 𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆. Stop. He stopped on my neck. My neck. Awa. What was that for? He his lips and looked at me. Why did you let me kiss you? He smirked. I don't even know why. I don't know, we were starting to get tired. He gave me a plain black t-shirt and some basketball shorts. He just wore basketball shorts with no shirt. You look cute in my clothes, he needs to stop. We got under the covers. He put his arm around my waist. Izuku, will you go out with me? What the foo? No, I heard him chuckle. You know I won't stop until you say yes, yes. 𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆, I know that. Good night, Izuku. //Katsuki POV// I woke up around 7:30 to make him breakfast. I was in a good mood all morning because last night I kissed him and he kissed me back. It was about 8:23 when I started walking back to my room with 2 plates of food. When I opened the door I saw Izuku peacefully sleeping. He had half of the covers all the way up to his chin. His mouth was slightly open. Drool was coming out of his mouth. Oh my god, that's cute, I muttered. I walked up to him and kissed his forehead. Baby, wake up, I whispered. I think he's used to me calling him baby and babe. He got up and rubbed his eyes. What time is it? God, he's so appealing. 8:26, he laid back down and pulled the covers over his head. Why did you wake me up so early? Is Izuku usually like this when he wake up? Hey, it's kinda cute. To give you your food, I saw a head pop out of the covers. I laughed a little bit and gave him his food. Thank you, 𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆, and he smiled at me. We finished our food and we decided to just stay in the house all day. We were watching another movie. Izuku. Go out with me? I asked again. No, he said bluntly. Worth a try. I felt like kissing him again. I was gonna lean in until I got a text from 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙀. Izuku looked at me. Kirishima is throwing a party. Wanna come? He looked down at his lap. I've never really gone to a party before, and I also don't plan to. Baby, please. I rolled on him so my stomach was on his lower region and I was in between his legs. I hugged his waist. Baby, pleasey. Go within. His face turned slightly red. He stared to play with my hair. I love you, Izuku. He froze and moved me off of him. I act like we're dating even though we aren't. I need to go home and changed, he said, dismissing the I love you I threw his way. Let me come with you, he nodded. We arrived at his house. His mom wasn't here but she left him a note. My mom is still at work. We went into his room. He turned around and noticed I was in his room. He pushed me out. Izuku, I won't peek. 6 minutes later he came out looking hot. I ran up and hugged him. Baby, you look good. He kept walking with my hung to him. We walked back to my house so I could get changed. Didn't push him out. Izuku, you can stay. By the time I finished what I said, my room door slammed. //Izuku POV// came out of the room looking decent. I'll never admit it, but he looked more than decent. Izuku, I only look good for you. We started walking to Kirishima's. 𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆 insisted to hold my hand. Baby, date me. This is the 3rd time he's asked me so far. No, we arrived at Kirishima's with my hands still in 𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆's. Kirishima's house is huge. I started to see a bunch of people. My heart started to beat really fast. Katsuki noticed. Hey baby. It's okay. You'll be by my side the whole time. I won't leave you, I promise. I nodded my head. I decided to put my trust in him. When we walked in, a bunch of people were crowding around him, either asking him out or flirting with him. I got kinda mad. There were waitresses and waiters carrying around metal plates with alcohol on them. The waitress kept telling to take one, so I took it out of pressure. I found Katsuki looking around for me, but a girl kept touching him. I could tell he was getting mad at her. It still made me mad that some girl was touching him. I chugged whatever alcohol that was in the cup. It burned so bad. 1, 2, 7, 11, 16 cups later. I was starting to see too. I could barely walk. I was about to fall when I was caught by Kaken. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗓 are really beautiful. Kaken looked down at me. Were you drinking? What makes you think that, huh? Let's get you back home. He picked me up and gave me a front piggyback ride. Knew did I make Kaken mad? I started to cry. I'm not mad, Izuku. Halfway there I started saying something I never thought I'd say, well, more like sing. Kaken wants to have sex with me. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗓 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗓 my face got really red at what he said. He started to yell again. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗓. He wants to f. He started laughing at nothing. He really can't keep his alcohol down. We finally got back to my place. I put him in the bed and took off my shoes. When I turn around, he's taking off his shirt. Izuku, what are you doing? He ignored me. He started taking off his. I want Kaken to have sex with me. My face got red. I do, but not when you're drunk and not when we're not officially dating. I walked over to him and put his back on. Why doesn't Kaken love me? He started to cry. No, Izuku, I do. He pulled me into a kiss. He sat on my lap and started grinding on my lower region. Kaken, fuck, it's hard to resist, but I need him to stop. He started pulling down my Izuku, stop. I was getting turned on. He my member through my boxers. Bitch, Izuku, stop. I pulled up my. He started crying again. Kaken doesn't love me like he said he'd do us. I put him under the covers and kissed his forehead. Good night, Izuku, and like that he was asleep. //Izuku When I woke up I had the biggest headache ever. I could barely remember what happened last night. My shirt was off and I was in Kaken's room, but he wasn't in it. I started to freak out. Kaken, he ran in the room. What the hell happened? He lightly laughed. Izuku, are you sure you want to hear? What is that supposed to mean? Yeah. He patted the seat next to him. Okay, so you got drunk at the party and I took you home. On the way there you started yelling about how I wanted to have sex with you. Then when we got home you started stripping your clothes off. You said you wanted me to have sex with you. I didn't want to because you were drunk. Then you started to kiss me, then grind on me, then you almost me off. My face was red and I was really embarrassed. I covered my face and started rolling around on the bed. My God, I'm so sorry. I felt so embarrassed I tried to stuck him. Baby, it's okay. I still can't help but think if I wasn't drunk would he have sex with me. Izuku, stop. //Katsuki_V// I wish he wasn't drunk when he wanted to. Izuku. Date me. He was silent for a moment. Is this the moment he says yee, and ouch? I really want to touch him, I just don't know what he'd do. I grab his thigh. He looks at me with those big emerald eyes. I couldn't help it. I kissed him. He crawled on my lap. He's sitting on his lap while kissing him. I moved to his neck. Kaken, he started grinding against my member. Izuku, he released what he did and pushed himself off me. I'm so sorry, that killed the mood. Izuku, it's okay. He was still shirtless and he had a really nice toned body. I didn't notice this before, but DMN. I think he noticed that I was staring at his abs cause he asked where his shirt was. Oh yeah, here. He put his shirt on. I have to call my mom real quick, I haven't been checking in with her lately and she gets really paranoid when I don't. He stepped out of the room. I want to hear all of his sweet noises in the bed. God, I'm horny as F. He stepped back in saying that he had to leave. I offered to walk home with him and he agreed. I think he's starting to warm up to me. When we got to his house his mom was shocked to see me. Izuku, you made a friend, I'm so glad. What his name? I stepped in and answered myself. My name's Katsuki Bakugo and I'm his boyfriend. Izuku and his mom both froze. I always knew you were into boys, Izuku. I'm glad you found yourself someone who's as charming as Bakugo. She smiled at me. He's not my boyfriend. I decided to mess with him a bit. Don't be embarrassed, of course I'm your boyfriend. Izuku shut the door in my face. I chuckled, then left back to my house. My parents are supposed to be back tonight. It's Sunday and I'm really not looking forward to school. I just want to spend every day with Izuku. //Izuku_P_OV/// My mom kept talking about how cute Kaken was. I went to my room and saw that Kaken texted me, whatever. I can't go to bed. My brain keeps replying what? Kaken told me what I did to him when I was drunk. He also kissed me when I was sober. And I let him do it both times. The way I feel for Katsuki, it kinda weird. I try to tell myself I don't like him, but deep down I do. I was finally able to go to bed at 12. Kaken's gonna be here in 5 minutes. I run downstairs, but my mom already left for work. I quickly ran back upstairs. I brush my teeth and my hair. I take off my basketball shorts and t-shirt. I slip on my uniform. I forgot I left my phone downstairs to check the time. I run downstairs not caring that I don't have a shirt on. I freeze in place when I see Kaken. He looks me up and down. He has lips and walks towards me. He picks me up and pushes my back against the wall. My legs wrapped around his waist. He started my neck. Kaken. Stops. He moved down to my collarbone. Kaken, I really didn't want him to stop, but I remembered that we had to go to school. He lifted me up higher. He started my NPL. Kaken, we have to go to school. He let me go. I ran upstairs and put my shirt on, grabbing my things. We walked out, walking to school. //Katsuki POV// I don't know what got into me. When I saw him shirtless and flustered, I couldn't take it. He told me to stop because we had to go to school. If we didn't have to go to school, would he let me continue? On our way to school, his face was really red. Baby. Go out with Dash. He cut me off. No. It's been about 3 days since I've been asking him to go out with me. I'm just gonna keep asking until he says yes. Warning, police car light warning, police car light warning. This chapter contains harsh homophobic language and bullying. Police car light warning, 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 police car light / Katsuki POV// I held his hand while we walked in. Some people were giving him dirty looks because a nerd like him shouldn't be around someone like Katsuki, people say. He lets go of my hands and walks further ahead, away from me. Baby, slow down. He keeps his pace. Izuku, what's wrong? He ignored me. He walked into Aizawa classroom and took his seat. I think the looks people are giving him is starting to get to him. At lunch, Izuku agreed to sit with me at lunch. When we were sitting down, Uraraka walked up to us. She's the second most popular person at U. Right behind me. She usually gets her way. She's probably the nicest person anyone has ever met. Hey Katsuki, she said with a smile. Hey Uraraka, what's up? She looked at Izuku. Oh, nothing, I just wanted to talk to Izuku, get to know him, could I talk to him in private? She said. Izuku nodded and followed quietly behind her. //Izuku POV// A girl named Uraraka asked to talk to me. I don't really know what this is about, but I said sure. I followed her to this hallway that seemed like no one really goes to. It kinda dark, the only light source is the sunlight that's shining through the windows. She stopped, so I stopped. She turned around and that nice smile I just saw was now an angry growl. Listen here, you stay the F away from Katsuki, UF. If you don't, let's just say what happens at your last school would be 10 times worse here. My eyes widened. How did she know? The only person I told was Kaken. Did he tell her? Anyway, that means no talking to him, texting, calling, looking, glancing, passing notes, hanging out with him, and no telling people to tell him something for you. Got it? The only time you can talk to him is when you're telling him that you don't want to be his friend anymore. And when you do it, make sure to sound mean about it so he can never forgive you. She started to walk away. What? Why is she doing this? When she was gone, I slid down the wall and started crying. I didn't want to be here, so I left school and went back home for today. //Katsuki POV// Uraraka came back. She said that Izuku wasn't feeling well after they talked, and she took him to Recovery Girl. She said Recovery Girl told him he should go home. I guess I'll just stop by his house to make sure he's okay. School was really boring without him. Play the song up top, sad face. After school, I ran to Izuku's house. I knocked on the door. He opened the door. Izuku, are you? He cut me off. I don't want to be your friend anymore. Nothing else. I don't want to see you, speak to you, text you nothing. You mean little to nothing to me. I never liked you, I just lead you on. He looked me dead in the eye the whole time. Izuku, I said weakly. He slammed the door in my face. Tears were about to fall out of my eyes. I was so heartbroken. Why did he say those things? I started crying on the way home. I walked up to my room. I could barely keep myself up. I fell on my bed and started crying even harder. //Izuku_P_O_V// like Uraraka said, I tried my best to be mean about it. I couldn't face him, so I slammed the door. The second the door closed, I slid down the door and started crying my eyes out. Why did it have to be me? Me out of everyone, it had to be me. I texted Uraraka telling her it's done. She replied with good. Now be a good boy and stay the F away from him. I shut off my phone. I didn't want to face reality tomorrow. I fell asleep with tear-stained cheeks. I didn't want to go to school and see him or Uraraka. I sluggishly got out of bed and did my morning routine. I started walking to school around 7:30. When I walked in, I saw Uraraka comforting Katsuki. She looked at me. I was about to cry, so I walked away. When I walked into class, I immediately put my head in my arms on the desk. I heard someone quietly sit down behind me. I'm guessing that Katsuki. Class went by super slow, but lunch finally came around. I got my lunch and sat at a table away from Katsuki and everyone. Like always, a table by myself. I looked over at Katsuki and his chin was propped up by his hand. Uraraka was next to him, touching his knee. I hated that I had to do this. I barely ate because I was so disappointed in myself. I walked out of the lunchroom. //Katsuki_P_O_V// I can't believe Izuku. He was leading me on the whole time. I'm just glad I had Uraraka by my side. I saw him barely eat him food. He walked out of the lunchroom. I was going to run after him, but Uraraka told me to not pay any attention to him and that he'll just break my heart again. I don't get why he even did this. It was out of nowhere. Lunch was over, and so I walked back to class. He was the only person in the classroom. I saw him staring out the window with his palm on his cheek. I wanted to go talk to him so bad, but I remembered that he was only leading me on. I walked closer to him because my desk is right behind him. I looked at him again and I saw that he was silently crying. I always hated seeing him cry, but was he crying? Izuku, his name slipped out of my mouth on accident. He looked at me with wide eyes. Hey Katsuki, I looked back and it was Uraraka. I heard him sigh. He got up and walked out of the classroom. //Izuku P_O_V// I heard Katsuki say my name. Man, have I missed those words come out of his mouth. I was going to say something, but Uraraka came in. I got up and walked out of the door. I went to the roof of the school. I like it up there. It's just me. No one else. It's quiet. The only thing I hear is the wind, cars driving by, and birds. My eyes got heavy and I fell asleep. //Katsuki P_O_V// I watched Izuku walk out the room. I immediately started crying. Uraraka ran up to me and hugged me, telling me that it's gonna be okay. Throughout the rest of the day, Izuku wasn't in class. He couldn't have gone home early because his bag is still by his seat. School got out and I still didn't see Izuku. I'm sure he's okay though. Uraraka invited me to go to a cafe with her to get Izuku off my mind. //Izuku P_O_V// I woke up on the roof of the school. I looked at my phone and it was 4:59. School was out an hour and a half ago. I'm just glad school hasn't closed yet, cause I wouldn't be able to get off the roof. I got my stuff and started walking home. On the way home I saw Katsuki with Uraraka at a cafe. They were both laughing. It broke my heart seeing him with someone else. I just wanted to run and hug him, but I know I can't do that. I started to walk away with tears falling out of my eyes. //Katsuki P_O_V// out of the corner of my eye I saw Izuku across the street walking with his school bag. I turned my head fully towards him. I just wanted to kiss him. Uraraka told me to forget about him and move on. A single teardrop fell out of my eye. I'm gonna try and talk to him tomorrow at school. //Izuku P_O_V// when I got home I found one of Katsuki's shirt he left over at my house. I started to cry again. I fell asleep cuddling the shirt. I did my morning routine. By the time I was finished it was 7:29. I started walking. When I got to you, I immediately saw Kaken. Do I even have the right to call him that anymore? Right beside him was 𝗕𝗏𝗏. I walked away into first hour. I felt something tap my shoulder. I look up and it's Katsuki. I looked behind him and I see 𝗕𝗏𝗏 in her seat glaring at me. I look back at the front of the classroom trying to ignore his existence. He sat back down. A few minutes later a ball of paper was thrown at my desk. I ripped up the note. I couldn't tell him. After class I was walking towards the bathroom. Katsuki grabbed my shoulder. Izuku, why are you doing this? I ignore him. Izuku, if you don't tell me you love me I'll completely forget about you. I look at him wide-eyed. Kaken, no. I started crying. Then tell me you love me. I started crying. I can't, I yelled at him. Why not? He yelled back at me. Katsuki, what's wrong? 𝗕𝗏𝗏 came running up. MF. I'm royally F. I started crying harder because now 𝗕𝗏𝗏 will make my life a living hell. I was now sitting on the floor. My knees scrunched up and my head in my arms. Izuku, what's wrong? 𝗕𝗏𝗏 asked. She began rubbing my back. I couldn't do anything about it cause if I yelled at her who knows what she'll do. Izuku, last chance. Tell me you love me. I cried even harder if it's even possible. I started shaking my head. I can't. Tears rolling out of my eyes. Katsuki looked down and gave me a sad smile. Goodbye Izuku. I was going to run to him and hug him but 𝗕𝗏𝗏 harshly pulled me back and whispered in my ear. You F up now. // Katsuki_P_O_V// The second I turned my back all the tears fell out of my eyes. I wanted him to run to me, tell me he loves me, tell me he didn't mean any of it but he didn't. I have no choice but to accept what he said was the truth. Izuku hasn't been to school in 4 days. I've been hearing some messed up things about him. Every time I walk past his locker I see a note that says, he F for free, go call him, /XXXXXXX. Which I of course take off. I know I said I'd forget about him but knowing what happened at his old school he's the only thing on my mind. I turn the corner and I hear some girls talking about Izuku. Haven't you heard? That boy Izuku, I think. I wonder if he actually like F for free. I storm over there to see 3 girls gossiping. None of it is F true. One of the girls gasped. Katsuki. Didn't you have a thing with him? You could do so much better. The girl who said it had of makeup on, she was twirling her brown hair with her finger while chewing gum. F off. I walked into class and sat next to 𝗕𝗏𝗏. Hey Katsuki, how are you holding up? She gave me a sincere smile. Fine, I heard her sigh. Katsuki. After school you and me are gonna go have fun, okay? It'll take your mind off him. I nodded my head. You guys have to listen to this song while reading Izuku's POV but play it the second he's at school. Pleading face / Katsuki P_O_V// After school 𝗕𝗏𝗏 and I were walking somewhere. She wouldn't tell me where and of course I was getting annoyed. 𝗕𝗏𝗏, where the hell are we? We're here. I look up and there's this big bright neon sign saying, level up. I've never seen this place before. 𝗕𝗏𝗏, what is this? She turns and looks at me shocked. What? It's only the most coolest arcade in Japan. Oh, she dragged me by my hand in the arcade. I said I'd pay for us but she said that she's the one who wanted to take me. We spent about an hour there and I definitely had fun. After we went to a sushi restaurant. This time I paid, we ordered our food and no longer than 10 minutes it came. 𝗕𝗏𝗏 was jumping in her seat clapping her hands when the waitress was putting the food on the table. Yes. The second all the food was on the table she dug in. / is P_O_V// I was sitting down eating dinner with my mom when she kept giving me sympathetic looks. Mom, what's wrong? Izuku, you still haven't told me the reason why you haven't gone to school. Are kids teasing you again? For the past 4 days I've been telling her I was sick. No mom, I'm fine, I'll be going to school tomorrow. Even though I really do not want to go to school I have to so my mom would stop worrying. She was gonna say something else but I interrupted. Alright, well I have to go to bed, love you mom. I kissed her on her cheek and speed walked upstairs to my bedroom. I flopped on my bed with a sigh staring at the ceiling. I started getting a call. I don't know who it is, but I've been getting random calls from people all week. I turn to my phone and pick it up. Hello. Hey slot, you F for free, right? What? You heard me, slot? And no, I don't. Oh, so no, you're a lying slot. Wait, W. Dash, then the line hung up. The first call I got was somewhat like this. I didn't really know what to do cause it's exactly what happened at my old school. I started getting tired. I turned off my lap and fell asleep. I woke up and did my morning routine. By the time I was done, it was time to leave for school. My mom had left for work, so I didn't need to say bye to anyone. On the way to school, my heart kept going faster and faster with each step I took. By the time I knew it, I was at the entrance gate. While walking in, I kept getting weird looks. I was so confused I hadn't even been here for dash. Oh, 𝗬𝗓𝗏. I start walking to my locker to put my stuff away to see something written in permanent marker on my locker. I walk closer and it said, IF for free 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 why I've been getting calls all week. Everything that happened at my old school kept popping up in my head uncontrollably. I kept hyperventilating but quickly got it under control. I've been staring at these words for about a minute until someone shoulder checked me. I turn around and some kids from class 1B were walking away laughing at me. I sighed and opened my locker only to see tons of notes flood out. I picked one up and read it. I was on the brink of crying. Until one caught my attention while they all did, but one specifically, yup. Like a fountain, tears were spilling out. I shoved my stuff in the locker and slammed it. I wiped my tears away acting like nothing happened and went to my first hour. The second I walked in, people immediately turned towards me, throwing me looks, making me automatically stop in my tracks. I clench my fist and walk over to my desk to see the same thing written on my locker on my desk. I hear half of the class burst into laughter. I take my seat and look out the window waiting for the hour to be over. I don't have first hour with Kaken or 𝗕𝗏𝗏, so I'm good. I do have third, for 𝗕5th with him, and I have second and third with 𝗕𝗏𝗏. I walk out the classroom only to bump into someone. I give one glance up to see it's Kaken. His eyes were wide and he was about to say something. I look back down and walk away before he could talk. I've only been to school for an hour and a half today, but I feel like I'm slowly breaking. I feel someone roughly grab my hand and yank me back, making me fall. I get back up and see that 𝗕𝗏𝗏 had a devilish smirk on her face. She dragged me over to an empty classroom by my wrist. I knew something was gonna happen. I just didn't care at all. She grabbed a fistful of my hair and pulled me closer to her face. So, Izuku, how's your first day back been, huh? I just stood there, which I should have done. She pulled my hair harder. FV. She punched me on the right side of my face and stormed out of the classroom. I stare wide-eyed at the door, slowly bringing my hand up to my cheek, wincing in pain, tears slowly falling. That's definitely gonna leave a bruise. My back was on the wall. I scrunch my legs up and put my arms around my knees, my forehead resting on my knees. //Katsuki_P_OV// when Izuku and I collided with each other, I was gonna apologize, but he gave me one glance and walked away before I could. I turn around and look at him walking away. I felt someone was grabbing my arm. Come on, Katsuki. It was 𝗕𝗏𝗏. I walk to my seat. I have to go to the bathroom. Be right back. 𝗕𝗏𝗏 gets up and leaves. 5 minutes later, she came back with a smile on her face. I usually have the next few hours with Izuku, but he isn't in this hour. 10 minutes later, Izuku came in. He also had a big bruise on his cheek. Midnight was yelling at him for being late, but he ignored her and walked to his seat, propping his chin on his hand, looking out the window. I kept staring at him. I think he felt I was staring at him because he turned around and looked directly in my eyes. One single tear fell out of his left emerald eye. We were both staring at each other until someone kicked my foot. I turned around and it was 𝗕𝗏𝗏. She leaned forward and whispered in my ear. Forget about him, Katsuki. I take one glance back at Izuku to see he was looking out the window again. Break for third hour. Izuku was staring at his locker before opening it. A bunch of notes fell out. He stared at the floor, then takes his textbooks out. Right when he closes his locker, someone smacked them out of his hands. FV. He looks up and brings his arms up only to have them fall on the sides of his thighs. He lets out an annoyed sigh, picking them up only to have the same people pour milk on his head. Since the uniforms were white, there were splotches of chocolate milk on his shoulders. The same people push him up against his locker by his collar. Izuku let his head fall down. Chocolate milk dripping off the strands of his hair onto the floor. The bell to third hour rang. The boys cursed under their breath and threw Izuku on the floor. Now it was just Izuku alone in the hallway. I sat there staring in between my legs. Why me? My old school, a little of elementary, and now here. I get up and walk to the bathroom so I could dry my hair. I'll have to take a shower when I get home. Once I finish, I walk to third hour when once again I'm getting yelled at, but this time by Present Mike. He was right in my ear and I was so close to punching him. I had enough of everyone today. I walk to my seat, which is next to Katsuki. I also sit in front of 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏. That's why I hate this class the most. Hey Izuku. Why do you smell like chocolate milk? I turn around and face her with an annoyed look. Why do you? She flinches back in her seat. I'm sorry, I asked. This is such bullshit. Her whole facade she's putting on. I stare at her a little longer before turning away. I quickly went to my locker, not wanting to deal with anyone at all. When I opened my locker, some kids from 1B ran up to me and sprayed ketchup and mustard on me. I just let it happen. I stood there not doing coffee. They laughed and ran away. I clenched my fist and opened my locker, slamming it, making everyone in the hall look at me. When they saw what was on me, they all laughed at me. I walked out of the school. When I saw my house in view, I started crying. I was so exhausted and felt hurt. I ran into my house to be greeted by my mom. Izuku, how was your 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗎? Oh my god, what happened to you? Please don't make me go back to school. She hugged me, not caring about getting ketchup and mustard on her. They're bullying you again, huh? I nodded my head. I thought this school would be the one to make you happy. Izuku. Well, we would have to move again. There's no other schools where we live. Every time I would get bullied, we would have to move. Which we moved a total of 3 times. I don't know where yet, but tomorrow I will take you out of the school. You should be in a new school by next week, along with a new house, okay baby? I nodded. Go take a shower and get some sleep, okay? //Izuku POV // I woke up to sound of my alarm clock. I was about to yell at my alarm clock for reminding me I had to go back to school. That was until I remembered I don't go there anymore as of today. I almost cry in relief, but I smelt pancakes and bacon, so I walked out my room to see pancakes, eggs, sausages, and bacon along with orange juice. I smile at my mom. Good morning, Mom. She gives me a side hug. Good morning, Izuku. I went to wash my hands, then we started eating. My mom's food is always the best. When we were eating, my mom said something. Izuku, I found a nice house in America. I look at her in shock. America? I really missed America when we left. But then I remembered how my mom would have to get a new job. She always liked her job. What about your job? I'm so sorry I didn't even 𝗔𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗏. She grabbed my hand and smiled at me. Izuku, I am your mother. I'll do anything to make sure you're happy and safe. I nodded, being grateful for having an amazing mother. I'm off. I need to talk to the principal and take you out of the school. I ran after her towards the door. You can't say who. She turned and gave me a stern look. Izuku, I will not let them get away with bullying my son. You are too great to be treated like this. With that, she left the house. // Katsuki POV // When I got to school, I saw Izuku's mom. I was really confused. She walked past Izuku's locker and gasped. Now she had an angry look on her face and walked away. I kept staring at her until we made eye contact. I flinched and looked away. Man, she's scary. I was confused on why she was here. I mean, is Izuku okay? Is he hurt? I look up at the clock to see I only had 5 minutes to do this. I ran to the bathroom and ran some water on the paper towels. I ran back to Izuku's locker and wiped off what was wrote on it. Ever since it's been written on there, I would always erase it. Of course, without him knowing. But I only later find out that it's always rewritten. I sigh and look at his locker. Memories of his smile flashed me. The bell rang and I was a few minutes late. When I got in, 𝗕𝗏𝗧𝗏 smiled at me. I waved to her and walked back at my seat. Izuku wasn't here today at all. starting to get really worried. At the end of the day, I decided to ask 𝗕𝗓𝗢𝗏 about it. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏, do you know what's happening to Izuku? She flinches and turns to me, scratching her head. No. Why would you think I know? It confused me on why she was getting all hostile. Although I heard he was being physically bullied. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏, why didn't you tell me? I thought you knew. It would happen in the halls, at lunch, by the bathrooms and classrooms. I didn't think you were dense. 𝗧𝗏𝗃. I knew his locker was being written on, but I didn't know this was happening. I ran to my house and took my phone of the charger. I didn't bring my phone with me cause I forgot to charge it. I found Izuku's contact and hit the call button. Why is his phone out of service? I can't go to his house at the moment due to my nagging old hag. Every thought raced through my mind about Izuku. //Izuku POV// My mom came back looking very mad. She came into my room without knocking. She would usually always knock before entering. Izuku, you need to tell me everything that happened to you, including your locker. I sigh. I didn't want her finding out about the locker. Did she open it and see the notes? I am okay. I tell her everything down to getting physically bullied along with mentally all the way to the notes in the locker. I also told her about the calls which I'm still getting. She said she'll get me a new number today. Izuku, why didn't you tell me earlier? I'm so sorry. My poor baby boy. She hugged me tightly while playing my hair. It's not your fault. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. A few minutes later the conversation died down and she started to say something else. I got the house in America, Izuku. Start packing, we're leaving immediately tomorrow so we have more time to drive to the airport. Tomorrow. My mom came back with boxes to pack my stuff in. I didn't have much. The only thing that will give me trouble is my bed, TV, and dresser. A few hours later my room was completely empty. The only thing there was my TV, bed, and dresser. I walked downstairs to see the rest of the house is completely empty. The TV isn't even in the living room. The rug was rolled up by the front door. Everything was packed. How did my mom do all this in just a few hours? My mom said goodnight and I later then fell asleep. A little happy to go back to America. It's a whole new continent, city, and school I'll be in. //Izuku POV// I got about an hour of sleep before my mom woke me up at 5 in the morning. We packed everything in the car and about 2 hours later we were driving to our new life. It's kinda sad that I'm leaving everything and everyone behind without saying anything. I can't help but think what will Katsuki think. It saddens me that he never had my back but he said he would forget about me and that's what he did. I had a choice and I didn't make the right one. My mom arrived at a fast food place but I wasn't hungry. We were only about an hour and a half into driving when I fell asleep. //Inko POV// I look over to see Izuku asleep. I reach my hand and ruffle his hair. My baby boy //Izuku POV// Izuku, wake up, we're here. I slowly opened my eyes to see we were parked in the Japan airport. It was so big. Finally I grumbled. When we got to our new house it was really nice. It was in a pretty neighborhood too, really quite. I was just really tired so I groggily walked out of the car. This is nice, Mom. It was about night time when we finished taking everything out of the boxes and into its right place. Pizza, Izuku? I nodded my head. I didn't really eat today so I could totally eat pizza. 25 minutes later pizza came. My mom and I sat at the table and enjoyed each other's company. So the closest school is Trinity School. It's a very prestigious school so at least try and fake being nice, Izuku. There are uniforms so I'll get you one when I register you. I'll register you tomorrow so you'll most likely start next week. I hate the idea of talking to people. I just don't like talking to people of fear of them hurting me. I woke up to my alarm. I'm not really excited but I have to get an education. My uniform was hung up in the closet. I did my morning routine and put my uniform on last. The uniforms wear black with red outlines and a red tie. They gave a choice on long sleeve or short sleeves but my mom got both for me. My mom drove me to school and in less than 7 minutes we were here. I prayed to any god that I don't have to talk to anyone. I was about to get out until my mom grabbed my hand. Izuku, be nice. Or at least don't be emotionless. I gave her one nod and waved to her. She's pretty much telling me not to be me. I look at my schedule to see I'm in class 1A. The best class at the academy, so they say. I was a couple minutes late but found it on my own. When I walked in front of the door, I heard the teacher say we have a new student and that he should be here any minute. I walked in and they all look at me. The teacher was about to say something but I cut him off. My name is Izuku Midoriya, I said in my normal careless attitude. I heard someone in the corner say, that's all. When we have a new student we're supposed to say a few things about us, but I don't see why it's so necessary. Alright, well Izuku, could you please tell us about yourself? I let out a sigh. I lived in America, then moved to Japan, went to U.S. and now I'm back. I look at the teacher and he has a face of dissatisfaction but sighed in defeat. Alright, well Izuku, glad to have you in my class. Please take that seat. There was a seat in far right end. I took the seat and looked at the people around me. I'm sticking with myself this time. Izuku 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗶𝗿𝗽. When first hour was over I got a note saying that the principal wanted to meet me since he only met my mom. Apparently she told him about my past, so he wanted to talk about that too. Right when I got up, kids were bombarding me with questions like, how do you pronounce your name? Or, did you really live in Japan? What was it like? Or, you're so fluent in English. So I did what I would usually do. I put my hands in my pocket and walked away as if I didn't even hear them. Me doing this will make people think I don't like them and they won't talk to me. If they don't talk to me, they won't get on my nerves. When walking to the bathroom, there was a crowd around this guy. I couldn't quite see him, but I could see that it was a guy. Of course, every school has the kid who's best at everything. While opening the door to the principal's office, we make eye contact. He keeps staring at me, which I don't like, so I looked away. I walk into the principal's office with my head low and my hands in my pocket. Izuku, please take a seat. He had curly blonde hair that went to his shoulders. He had brown eyes and an annoying smile on. He kinda reminds me of Aizawa but nice. So I wanted to tell you that this school is a safe environment and to please talk to any adult if you have problems with other kids. Your mother told me about what happened. I'm sorry. It wasn't your fault. It's already over, so I don't see why he's apologizing. Right? I also wanted to get to know you one-on-one. Your mother tells me that you keep to yourself a lot and don't socialize with kids your age. Why is that? I was just really tired at the moment. I tried sounding nice, but it just didn't work out. Well, why do you think? Throughout my whole school life I was bullied, so I put up walls so no one else will hurt me. After about 15 more minutes he wrote me a slip to say I was at the office and not skipping. Oh Izuku, once again please confide in me. I just looked back and walked out. I realized I have no clue what his name is. I only call him the principal. I walk into second hour. Izuku, why are you skipping? On your first dash. I shut him up by giving him the slip and walking to my seat. Oh, I see. Apologies Izuku. I look and see that most the people from first hour are in my second hour. Some kids aren't, but one catches my eye. It was the guy from earlier. We make eye contact again. I roll my eyes and go back to my seat. Katsuki 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗶𝗿// Izuku hasn't been to school in a week and a half. I don't know what happened. Present Mike was going down roll when he skipped over Izuku. Uraraka points it out and asked why Izuku hasn't been here in a week and a half. Present Mike looked down then back at us, but he was mad. Midoriya will not be attending you anymore. His mother came in last week and was at her wit's end. She told us he was being bullied. She said he didn't want us to know who, so we couldn't make any reasonable consequences for who bullied him. Please kids, whoever knows anything, please step forward at lunchtime so we could prepare reasonable consequences. Izuku left. Left. Did he move school? Houses? Cities? The end of the day was horrible. I would check the clock every 2 minutes, making time go by even slower. The bell finally rang. I ran out of the classroom, bumping into kids who were gonna ask me something. I heard Uraraka yell after me, but I only had one thing to do. I ran all the way to Izuku's house. When his house was in view, I ran faster and faster until I was in front of his house. There was a for sale sign in his yard. He left, he's gone. He left everything behind and I didn't even know. I can't forget about him. Even if he said he hated me and I'm the worst person in the world, I could never find the strength to hate him back, let alone forget about him. It took me a while to process that he's actually gone. When I did process it, I was already at my house. I walked in, not slamming the door, not yelling at my mom, not stomping up the stairs. I just simply and quietly walked in. "Hey brat, where's my hello?" I walked past her and up to my room. I can't call him since he disconnected his number. I can't see him at school because he dropped out. I can't visit him because he moved. I really let someone I care about slip out of my grasp. //𝗕𝗓𝗁𝗡/. When I walked in, I was a little early than I wanted to be. Kids were in the cafeteria eating breakfast, and some were in the classroom working on homework they didn't do last night. I walk into my first hour and only 3 kids, including me, were in there. It makes sense cause there's half an hour until school starts. I look at the other 2 people. One looks like a girl but a guy at the same time. Then a guy. I'll sue the guy that keeps making eye contact with me. I didn't know we had first hour together. I walk to my seat and I feel eyes following me. Please don't tell me it's Dash. It's him. I sit down and look out the window. It's sunny out. I always like the sun. You like the sun? I look in front of me to see. I curse myself for that horrible habit of mine. I give him an annoyed look and look back at the window. What's your name again? You're new, right? Where did you come from? Why can't he just take the hint? This is what 𝗕𝗓𝗁𝐵𝗧𝗍𝗵𝗆 Katsuki did. I won't stop until you answer at least of my questions. One won't kill me. Izuku midoriya. That's my name. Don't think we're friends just because you know my name now. He smiled at me. Nice to meet you, Izuku. I'm Koyo Akira. You do mind if I call you by your first name, right? I think he has Japanese origin in him because in America people usually say their first names, but he asked. I don't mind. I say very low. Alright. I'll introduce you to some of my friends so can have friends too. I'm glad I'm your first friend, Izuku. He starts to walk out of the classroom. I feel my eye twitch. That's what I didn't want. And no, Koyo. We're not friends and I don't want you to introduce me to anyone. He flails his hands like a bird. Whatever you say, Izuku, and with that he leaves the classroom. I let out a big groan and slump into my seat. Why doesn't he get it? I mumble to myself. Izuku. My eye twitches again and my shoulders scrunch up. The familiar voice. I quicken my pace but he catches up to me and grabs my shoulder. Izuku. Did you not hear me? No, I did. Then why did you dash? Because like I said, we aren't friends. He smiled. But not a nice one, a devilish smile. He picks me up and throws me on his shoulder and starts running towards the cafeteria. Koyo, put me down. We're already at the cafeteria and he sets me down. He grabs my arm and walks over to a table. Stop. My heart is beating so fast. I wasn't prepared for me to talk to people at all. What if they silently judge me? Or think I'm weird, then they'll all bully me again like last time. All of a sudden we stop. Koyo looks back and smiles softly at me. They won't judge you, Izuku, I promise. Stupid. 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 I stare at him with wide eyes. I look away with a pout of furrowed eyebrows. I don't need your reassurance. He lightly laughed. Come on, Izuku. We walk to a table that's full of people. Everyone. This is Izuku. The new kid. But thanks. Oh, you're in my first hour. On your first day I tried asking you something but you didn't hear me. Oops, yeah that's it, I couldn't. You. Koyo lightly nudged my arm. I look at him and he nervously smiles. Be nice. He whispers to me. What happened to? Oh, don't worry, Izuku, they won't judge you, I said mockingly. But how about we sit at our own table today? Just you and me. I started walking away. I lifted my hand in the air and waved to him, not bothering to look back at him. I'll pass, Koyo. Like I said, we're not friends. This time he didn't try and persuade me. Thank God. I wonder what Katsuki is doing. //Katsuki_POV// at lunch. Kaminari, Kirishima, and Siro kept trying to get me to join the boys lacrosse team. Sign-ups are today and they need more players. Come on, Bakubro. If you, me, Kaminari, and Siro join, will be like the ultimate team. I let out a big sigh. I guess it wouldn't be bad if I tried. Fine, they all cheered. I think about the past few days and 𝗬𝗏𝗢𝗏 has been really clingy with me. It's kinda annoying but at the same time I don't mind. I needed to use the bathroom and to my surprise 𝗬𝗏𝗢𝗏 didn't come. Usually she would be so clingy she'd wait outside the boys' bathroom for me. I walked to the bathroom to see the principal open Izuku's locker, that's right. They still needed to clean it. When he opened it a bunch, and I mean of notes came flooding out. What the F? 𝗕𝗎 picked one up and gasped. I ran over and asked 𝗕𝗎 what it said. That poor boy. It was going on right under our noses too. He didn't answer my question so I picked one up and read it. What the F? I picked up another one. This is what he's been going through. Why would someone break someone like this? This overwhelmed me with anger and pity. That handwriting 𝗬𝗏𝗢𝗏. //Katsuki POV // It's been 2 days since I read the notes from Izuku's locker. I decided to keep on to the note. I couldn't ask her straightforward because she would obviously deny it all. So I kept asking her about Izuku and see her reactions. Sometimes she would brush it off and other times she would act like she never. I was naive and arrogant. I just hope he's doing better wherever he's at. //Izuku // I wake up to my alarm I have set for the weekends. I don't really like sleeping in unless I feel dead and just more sleep. I get up and brush my teeth staying in my pajamas. When I walk out I still see my half-eaten burger on the table. I glare at it remembering all the fat, grease and calories I ate. Now that I think about it I might as well go on a run. I came back from my run sweating. I'm so out of shape. I take a shower getting all of the sweat off me and walk out to see my mom up watching the news. Izuku. Good morning. I give a light-hearted smile. Morning. She frowns at my choice of words. Izuku, you seem less happy. I mean you were never really the energetic hyper kid or teenager but as your mother who you and seen you grow up you seem less Oh no my baby. Do you have depression? Oh no I'm such a bad mother for not realizing it sooner. Izuku I'm so sorry dash. And that ladies and gentlemen is where I got my habit from. I'm fine I promise, I was just thinking of some things. Like Kaken. 𝗬𝗏𝗢𝗏 she cups my face and hugs me. One of those motherly hugs. I love you Izuku. I awkwardly pat her back. Love you to mom. She looks at her watch and sighs. I have to be at work in 2 hours. I need to get ready now leaving me an hour and a half to get to work leaving me half an hour dash. Her voice slowly fades as she walks out muttering. I chuckle and shake my head. I sit down on the couch looking at what's on the news. My mind is somewhere completely different. Sometimes I wonder what would my life would be like if I never meet Kaken, or if 𝗬𝗏𝗢𝗏 was never in the picture. Or if I didn't leave you yay. It's all in the past now I guess. There's no turning back. //Katsuki // At the end of the day shitty hair, dunce face, soy sauce, and I walked out to the school turf for lacrosse practice. When the coach saw me he walked towards me. Katsuki. Glad you could make it. Kirishima was telling me about how fit you are so I'll be glad to have you on our team. I smiled at him and nodded my head. Yeah, sure. Kirishima told me about the team to get my mind off of things. Maybe in the end I'll end up enjoying playing this sport. He smiled at me and nodded his head. We did series of suicides, stick tosses, ball catching and scooping the ball. He blew his whistle having us all line up. Great job you guys. As you guys were practicing I wrote down your names in who makes the team and who's cut. I could see everyone tense up. Fando, Mineta, Shinzo, Shindo, Koda, and Sato you guys are cut I'm sorry. They all sighed and left the turf. The coach smirked at us. Great job you 7 that leaves. Katsuki, Kirishima, Siro, Denki, Todoroki, Tokoyami, and Ida. His smirk grew even wider. Now it's time to tell you guys a small story. 4 years ago 3 students in this sport were undefeatable. They were known as the Big Three. They played all 4 years of high school earning the title, the Big Three, for 4 years in a row. Next week we have a game against our rivals, the Black Eagles. That will determine who the next Big Three are for this year. Now I'm pumped. I'm so getting that title. Shitty hair and I look at each other nodding. We didn't have to say it, We already knew what was going through each other's heads, //Izuku // I look out my window while I sit on my window seat. I think about Kaken. All of the things we could have done if 𝗕𝗏𝗏 wasn't in the picture. Maybe we could have stayed together. You know, as I blush at the thought that Kaken and I could hold hands, smile at the presence of each other, I groan and fall back. Stop it, Izuku. All of a sudden there was a knock at my front door. Who's even here? Nobody knows my address and my mom's at work. I opened the door when I saw who it was. I groaned and immediately shut the door. The doorbell kept ringing and ringing. I opened the door and glare at the person. What do you want, Koyo? He let himself in and looked around. Nice house. I closed the door and kept my glare on him. Let's hang out. Absolutely not. Please. All of my other friends are busy. So I'm the backup, huh? I sighed. Fine. Plus, he's been here for an hour. We watched multiple movies. We went through 3 bags of popcorn, 2 ice cream tubs and 6 boxes of candy. I have to admit it's fun having him accompany. Izuku, do you have any social media? Social media? The one thing I don't do. In middle school kids would call me names in the comments, so I just deleted it and never had any second thoughts about it. Oh. Koyo looked at me shocked. What? Dude, you're in America now. Americans use social media 24/7. Hand me your phone. What? Oh. He snatched my phone's password. I rolled my eyes. 1111. How plain. After a few minutes he had added Snapflap and Instalam on my phone. Your username. Let's keep it simple. Another few minutes he gave my phone back. I checked the apps and my username for both is Izuku midoriya. That's pretty DMN simple. You do know I would never post, so what's the point? He then snatched my phone out of my hand and took a picture of me. Izuku say cheese. Koyo, stop. I said while nudging his shoulder, lightly laughing. Oh 𝗕𝗶𝗿𝗍, I got go. Thank you for spending today with me, Izuku. He smiled and waved goodbye. This was actually / /Katsuki // Our game was in less than 2 hours. It was a home game. I'm so winning that title. Sometimes I don't like how competitive I am. It's like in things I like to be the I get like this inhuman strength and want to demolish anyone in my way. It's pretty bad. Coach blew his whistle. All right boys, this is our first game. Go out there and take first place. We all cheered. We were all riled up. Also I lied. You guys will never know who the big 3 are in your week, nonetheless your first game. It'll take time. He had one of those faces on whenever Dunce's face goes stupid. What he said kinda me off, but I never really thought about that, so I guess he's right. Either way I'm still gonna win and be the best player. Number F26, I'm the best. / Izuku // Sunday, the worst day of the weekend. You know what they say, Sunday is no more fun day. I don't really like the American school system. It's too hectic. I scroll on my phone while the movie in the background ID playing just so it's not quite. I get a notification from Koyo saying he messaged me. He's so stupid. I mean, I could try it out. I'm already signed up, so what could be the harm? Izuku, see, I try and speed up my pace but he already grabs my shoulder. He looked at me weird. Well, someone didn't wake up on the right side of the bed this morning, huh, Izuku? I roll my eyes and keep walking. Anyway, so coach wants you at practice after school? Like I said, I guess I'd give it a try. Sure. He stopped walking. Wait, really? Woozy face +++++. I pack my stuff and take my time walking to the track. I see people much more taller and buffer than me. I also see Koyo trying to stall the coach for me being late. The second Koyo sees me, he lets out a shaky breath. Izuku, come here. I walk over to them and the coach looks at me up and down. You're kidding, right? Is him? I hold a strong glare at the coach. Who does he even think he is? I'm tired of people thinking I'm less than what I actually am. Koyo tried to defend me but I stop him. Give me your fastest player. He tried to hold in his laugh, but when he's how serious I am he straights up. Ahem. Miko. A tall and buff guy. Comes walking up. He looks like his reps are 600. He looks like to be 30 years old. American genes are crazy. He has light brown skin, his hair is dirty blonde and his sides are shaved. I look back at the coach, seeing him smirk, only making me more determined. Hey you. You're racing me to a 400. One time around the whole lap, he looks at me and starts laughing. 𝗕𝗶𝗯𝗶𝗽𝗏. You challenge me. I look around, well, who else? He chuckles, you're on 𝗕𝗶𝗯𝗶𝗽. The coach shakes his head. We walk to the starting line. I take my blazer off and get in my running position. 𝗏𝗀𝗏 and the coach stand on the side, 𝗏𝗀𝗏 giving me a thumbs up. I smirk at him. Runners on the ready. Ready, set. / 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗏 in a second we both take off. I'm super out of shape, but I always loved running. I feel so free, the wind blowing in my hair. I love it. I pace myself while Nico goes all out. That's the second I knew I already beat him. I'm behind and 𝗏𝗀𝗏 is yelling encouraging words to me. I wait for the seconds until Nico slows down to go all out. I count the seconds in my head. I full-on sprint going past him. Keeping my fast pace, he's pretty much my dust. 𝗏𝗏𝗏's shouts gets louder, making me smirk. All the other people on the field starts cheering for me. When I see the finish line in my view, I go. When I cross the finish line, I immediately look at coach's face. It was hilarious. Everyone comes up to me and asks my name. I hated the spotlight sometimes, but not this time. His name is Izuku midoriya. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, wrapping his arm around my shoulder. Oh dash. He grabs his phone and points it to me. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆. I nervously smile. I'm so adding this to his Instagram. He whispered to himself. I still have no clue what he's talking about, whatever. Coach walks up to me, people stop talking. He takes off his hat and puts his hand in my shoulder. B-boy. I apologize for what I said. You clearly got some talent and I misunderstood you. Will you join the 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗕𝗓𝗁? The 𝗬𝗁𝗁𝗕𝗓𝗁. Who in the world thought of? Sure. They all cheer. Yeah. The 𝗕𝗶𝗯𝗏 is on our team. 𝗕𝗶𝗶𝗃. Whatever. Now that this is over, I'm going home. I turn to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, giving him half my attention. I'm leaving. Okay, well, I could walk with you. I keep walking, ignoring his question. I grab my backpack and start heading out of the field, waking home. / Katsuki // we won our F game. 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙢 and I were the F best. As always. I never knew I'd like this sport. I was already home and the old hag kept yelling, my baby did so good, and, you were amazing, Katsuki. I wasn't annoyed by it at all. She's my mother, so I have to put up with her whether I like it or not. She opens her arms out and gives me a hug but stops. Shower. No. We both laugh and I go upstairs taking a shower. I stared at the ceiling thinking about today. It actually took my mind off of Izuku. I still can't help but remember him at times. For now I just need to focus on me. But maybe / third POV / the past month Katsuki and Izuku have been, you could say. Katsuki, Kirishima, and Todoroki earned the title of the Big Three. Of course many were upset but overall happy for their friends. Katsuki saw that lacrosse, school, his friends and family took Izuku off his mind. He felt kinda in a way. As for Izuku, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and him have gotten closer. Izuku says he can actually tolerate 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Izuku still keeps his emotionless attitude, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏 understands. Izuku got a lot more popular status due to his winnings in track and field. Izuku won the title fastest kid at Trinity School. Although Izuku didn't like the attention and the kids coming to talk to him or sit with him at lunch. Most times he'd just glance and walk away like it was nothing. The other times he'd completely shut down, ignoring everyone's questions and keep quiet. Izuku wasn't being mean, it was just how his mind worked whenever he was in the spotlight sometimes, or when he wasn't comfortable or couldn't control the situations he would be in. But all the sudden popularity and attention comes with a price. One guy got mad that a loser like him is getting all the attention. He said more insulting things to Izuku than he punched Izuku. For Izuku it felt like all the moments of him being bullied came flooding back. Izuku was walking to his second hour alone, when all of a sudden Bryce Walker walked up to him. Bryce is a popular stuck-up rich kid who's cocky and wants attention. He walked up to Izuku, slamming his hand on the wall, blocking Izuku's path. Izuku, of course, was a little confused and glares at him. Listen here, you, I don't know what you did or why everyone likes you, but you're not better than me, okay? Yeah, you probably think you're better than me, huh? All the attention you're getting, you're a worthless. He, who will be better than me? Izuku thought. It took him a little to process it, but the last sentence hit Izuku. The silence made Bryce think he was being ignored and punched Izuku. For Izuku it was like all the moments of him being bullied came flooding back. Izuku has had enough of it. They were both exchanging deadly punches. Izuku was aiming for his face the whole time while Bryce wasn't, which wasn't smart on Bryce's end. Bryce kept backing up, causing him to fall backwards. Izuku took the chance and got on top of him, repeatedly punching him. By now everyone has their phones out. Koyo and the principal saw what was happening and quickly separated them. DMN Izuku? Who knew he'd give a beating? Finally someone gave Bryce a beating. Izuku was dragged away to the principal's office. He got a week suspension and couldn't compete his races for a week. Izuku didn't care, he was actually happy. For once in his life he stood his ground, he fought back. Koyo was proud but mad at him to telling him that was dangerous. And you could have got hurt. But nevertheless Koyo started taking pictures of Izuku. That's going on Instagram. Izuku was still confused on what he meant by that. Bryce never even looked at Izuku after that. His popularity shot through the roof, which Izuku also didn't like. But all of this was a big distraction for Izuku, which was good in a way. He started thinking about Katsuki and Japan a lot less. //Izuku // my week of not being able to complete in track tournaments is finally over. I'm actually happy. My suspension was already over last week. My mom was so mad and worried she kinda scared me. But she understood and said boys will be boys. And let me off the hook. I had to have bandages around my arm, hand, and fingers, but that was it. The bell signaled that it was time to get out of school. When I walked into the hallway to my locker, Koyo ran up to me. Izuku, I got good news for me and bad news for you. Gee, thanks. Okay, so coach said we have tomorrow and today off. It's good for me because I've been at practice for the past week and you haven't, so I bet you're just waiting for practice to start. I actually was looking forward to it, it's whatever. I start walking and he follows me. Hey Izuku, I hate it when girls do that. They've been doing that for a while now. Their voices all high-pitched, fluttering their eyes, playing with their hair, being all touchy. It's annoying. Sometimes I want to just bluntly yell that I'm gay, but that's a hard pass. No pun intended, so instead I just ignore her and keep walking. Koyo looks at me with his mouth wide open. He lightly hits my arm and looks back at the girl. Dude, that's the most richest, prettiest, and popular girl in this school. And you just her. And walk past her. Are you blind, man? I'd give anything to have with her, he says while his cupped hands are over his heart. Not interested. He immediately stops waking. If you're not interested in, then who the hell do you like? I just shrug my shoulders. I'll find out someday. Detective Koyo is on the case. He's a goofball. I'm actually glad to have Koyo here and to have him as my friend. I cringe at what I just said in my head. All of a sudden Koyo hugs me. Of course Izuku, you're my best friend. I'm so moved. I thought I got that habit under control. I'm glad we're friends too, Izuku. He smiles at me, then talks about a bunch of random things. One thing he said really caught my attention. He was talking about where he was born. He saw me stop walking and look back at me. Izuku, are you okay? I haven't thought about Japan in a while. And thinking back at it kind of feels like a bunch of foreign memories. Why, I'm fine. He looks at me for a while. Izuku, you never told me what school you went to in Japan? I gulped, I kinda tensed up. Remembering Kaken, how I left without a single word. What? You went to UA. Why the hell did you leave? I don't want to get into all this. I don't like remembering what happened. So I lied, my mom got a job offer out here. Thank God I dodged that one. Did you date anyone in Japan? Those words felt like a whole building just came toppling over me. Did I date Kaken? Were we even a thing? I don't know. My head's starting to hurt really bad. My breaths become uneven and rapid. Desperately trying to catch my breaths. Izuku. We were just down the road from my house. Koyo wraps his arm around my shoulders and walks me to my house. When I finally calmed down, he made tea. I don't know how he already knew where it was, but I didn't mind. He handed me the tea and patiently sat next to me. Izuku, I'm sorry if what I said had anything to do with Dash. No, it's fine, it wasn't you. We sat there in silence for a little bit until Koyo broke the silence with his overbearing, cheerful voice. Let's watch a movie. Movie marathon. //Katsuki//Katsuki dinner's ready. I'll be down in a sec. I throw some joggers on and a black t-shirt. When I got downstairs I saw another family. It was a man and a girl. The girl looked about my age. I gave my mom and dad a confused look. Katsuki, this is Asuna and her father Shinki. Why are they here? My mom didn't tell me about this. I pulled my mom aside into the hallway. Mom, why are they here? They are our new neighbors. They moved into Izuku's new house. Oh, my heart starts beating fast, but I try and stay calm. I honestly kind of forgot about him. My mom notices my face and puts a hand on my shoulder. Hey hun, he's in a better place now. What the F? I slapped her hand away. Mom, he's not dead. I know, I just wanted to be dramatic. I roll my eyes and we walk to the table. Asuna had light brown curly hair, and her eyes were golden. This isn't 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆. When I sat at the table, her dad greeted me. Ah yes, hello Katsuki, it's a pleasure to meet you. He held out his hand wanting me to shake it. Yeah, you do, sir. I shook his hand. At the corner of my eye I saw Asuna staring at me. I looked at her and she immediately looked away blushing. I was gonna ask her something, but my mom started setting the food on the table. Both our families talked and got along. Asuna didn't say one word the whole time, which was odd, but whatever. Yeah, the house is amazing. I don't know why the other people moved out. Both my parents looked at me. I tried staying calm, but my hand clenching the fork was very visible. He was bullied why they moved. Both Asuna and her dad looked at. All attention was on me from both our families. Oh, I'm sorry Dash. Teach, I excused myself and went to my room. I didn't mean to be so rude, they didn't know why and it wasn't their fault. A few minutes later there was a light knock on my door. I groaned and opened the door, seeing Asuna. She was looking at the floor. Hi. I'm sorry for what my dad said, he didn't know. So I came up here to see if you're okay. 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆. Before she could turn around I grabbed her wrist and dragged her in my room on the bed. She was mad, blushing. I have a question. She looked at me. Why didn't you say anything the whole time we were eating? She looked sad at first but smiled. Well, before this I was homeschooled my whole life. So I have no social life and no socializing skills. Each word she said she would get quieter and quieter. Before this. So are you enrolling in a school? Her eyes lit up and she smiled. Yes. I'm attending you. Tomorrow, I'm sorry. What? She's kinda confusing me a lot. For what? For being loud. For being loud is the only volume in my house sometimes. If she thinks loud, she should hear my mom and I when we're mad. No, it's okay. My family is always loud. Stop apologizing. She smiled at me again. I stared at her, smiling. We made eye contact and that held for a few long seconds. The weird thing is my heart is beating fast. My eyes moved to her nose, her cheeks, her lips. She blushed and looked away. What the F was I doing? Asuna. It's time to go. We look at each other and both start walking. Her dad sees B and starts apologizing for what he said. No, it's okay. I didn't mean to be rude about. You guys didn't know. Right? Well, thank you for having us over. Yeah, let's do this again sometime. I look at the old hag and she smirked at me. What the F? The second the door closed, she started asking me questions, cornering me. So, you like hair? What? No, I don't, you old bat. It's okay. Whatever you say. Loudly crying face, red heart, 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 //Izuku // Ever since yesterday when I had that panic attack, I've been thinking about Japan. It'll just randomly pop up in my mind. When I'm eating, reading, running, doing my homework, it's annoying me. I left so I've started acting more distant and rude lately. I'm usually a rude and distant, but now it's getting worse. I sometimes have doubts about leaving Japan now, leaving Kaken. If only I wasn't a crybaby about things, or maybe I should have stuck up for myself. Maybe just maybe, Kaken and I would be together. Although if that did happen I'd be too stubborn. I smile and laugh at myself. Man, how great would that be? I just want to move on and forget about everything that happened in Japan, but I just miss him so much. I forgot about everything in Japan when I was so busy with school, track, and koyo. But now that I was reminded, it's like it's all I can think about now. Sometimes I hope Kaken hasn't forgot about me or found another person he likes. But I have no right to do that. If he moves on it'll be because of me. //Katsuki // Students, we have a new student. Her name is Asuna Mikoharu. Asuna walked in and bowed. We made eye contact and she quickly looked away. Hello, I hope we'll all become friends. I was actually homeschooled my whole life, so, sorry if I'm weird. I lightly laugh at what she said. 𝗕𝗓𝗢𝗏 is gonna be a pain. Half the girls are rude in this school. I'll say the only decent ones are Mei, Mina, Tsu, and I guess now Asuna. Everyone else is stuck up. I'll warn her about them. Lunch bell rings and I grab Asuna's hand, dragging her away from 𝗕𝗓𝗏. Wait, stop. I stop and look at her. You know that kid who moved out of your guy's house? Was the cause of him leaving? Stay away from her. She blushed then nodded. I walk to our lunch table where Mina is. Asuna, this is Mina. She's nice, hang out with her. Katsuki. How kind of you. Mina runs and hugs me. I laugh and hug her back. So Prince, set your eyes on her, huh? What the I look at Asuna and her eyes are wide open. And no, Mina, shut up. Okay. I sigh and sit down. Asuna sits next to me across from Mina. A few minutes later the rest of the knuckleheads come. Oh hey Asuna. She's sitting with us, Katsuki. They all look at me and I nod. They give Asuna a fist bump. They were all chatting and Asuna was still quiet the whole time. She was looking down, not looking at anyone. I look up and around to see girls jealously looking at her. Ignore them. They're just jealous, cheer up. I'm sure Mina has a few things in common with you. She smiled at me and nods. Thank you. She whispered. Hey Asuna, you should join the lacrosse team. Shitty Hair said. All attention was on her. That kinda got my attention. The thing was her eyes sparkled. They have a girls' lacrosse team here. I've done lacrosse my whole life. We were all shocked by the sudden outburst. Sorry. No, keep going, tell us more. Don't be sorry. Dunce's face smiled at her while everyone else wanted to hear more too. Her smile grew and she lightly laughed, explaining everything. That laugh, it's so familiar. I lightly blushed, my heart beating faster. / Izuku // Today we have a track tournament against our rival, the Running Raptors. Our name is totally better. The tournament decides whether you go to districts or not, where you better stand out and get the judges' attention. You have to place top 5 out of all of your events. Lucky for me, mine is only the 100, 200, 400 and 1400. My mom said she'll be there and cheer the midoriya name. But us as track students are taking the bus there while our parents drive. I honestly can't wait. We're already halfway there. Koyo and some other people tried getting me to sit in the back, but the back of the bus is always loud and crazy. So I sat in the front. Koyo was gonna sit with me, but I could tell he wanted to go to the back. I felt bad, so I sat in the back. Like I said, the back of the bus is loud and crazy, but Americans are so much worse. They're so loud and crazy. Like, how does someone have much energy? I, on the other hand, was trying to conserve my energy. I already had a headache and I really didn't want to run with a headache. So I put my headphones in to drown out the other noise. On the way there it started raining pretty bad. The coaches were planning on canceling it, but they decided not to because they made the judges come all this way. We all loaded off the bus and ran to the stadium. The stadium had a big cover over it blocking rain from hitting the stadium seats. I see my mom in a green fluffy blanket. She has a sign that's covering 2 seats, says, Midoriya number 26. I laugh and run to my mom. Glad you came. Me too. I haven't gone to any of your track competitions, so I'm excited to see my baby boy compete. She pulls me into a hug. Stop. She pulls away and looks around her. But I wish it was sunny. You'll catch a cold running in this kind of weather. I was about to reply but Nico called me. Pipsqueak. We're on. Pipsqueak? My mom said in surprise. Wish me good luck. I headed off the stadium and into the rainy weather. We're racing the 100-meter. It's 2 from the running Raptors and 2 from our school. Number 26 lane 2. Finally the referee calls my name. I get in my lane, the 2 guys from the other school look at me and almost laugh. Hey, I wouldn't if I were you, you know what, just wait and see, he'll kick your butt, Nico said, smirking at me. I was only out in the rain for 6 minutes and my hair and clothes are completely drenched. Runners on the ready. Go. He fires the gun and we took off running. Nico and I in the lead. Eventually I passed Nico and placed first while Nico places second, leaving the other 2 in last. They look at me in shock. Told ya. Nico said, laughing. My baby. That's my baby. Number 26. I immediately stop when I hear my mom's voice. I walk back to the stadium shivering and chatting my teeth. Izuku. I never knew you were so fast, oh my, here. She hands me a blanket with a built-in heating pad. She got it at the market near our house. She said that'll be her go-to store. My mom's a pain sometimes but I absolutely love her. Plus I won in all my events, the last one is the 1400. That'll decide whether I go to districts or not. Number 26, lane 3. This time it's 4 people from our school and 4 from the other. Now that the other school saw how fast I am, they're starting to take me serious. Runners on the ready. Go. Every single runner runs full sprint. I told my teammates, what are they doing? Going all out. Whatever, it's not my problem, I just don't want to hear them complain how they didn't make it to districts and I did. I'm all the way in the back, 8th place. Like I did with Nico, I wait for every person to start to slow down. They start running sloppy and their breathing is hard and uneven. Then they all slow down. That's when I start running faster than I was. Passing 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Leaving me in first place, I still reserved some of my energy until the finish line. When I saw the finish line, I sprinted faster. But one guy from the other school was running faster, he was side by side from me. We crossed the finish line at the exact same time. I glared at whoever that was to see he was already glaring at me. Plus, the judges started going over the teams and numbers. All track numbers come to the field. My heart was beating fast. The moment I waited for. Good luck, Izuku. Soaring Eagles, please step up. Our school walked forward waiting for the announcer to say our numbers. Number 6, 17, 13, 19, 10, 20. I'm sorry, you are not qualified. Ding, I am not one of those numbers. Number 15, 18, 01, 5, 25, and 26. Congratulations, you have passed. Please see Mr. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗁 for the papers. Everyone else cheered but me. I knew I was gonna make it. Koyo ran up to me and hugged me. We made it. Koyo was in the relay races, long jump, and hurdles. He got first place in all of them. I was kinda happy he passed. Plus, the line was so long for the papers to go to districts. My mom was beaming with joy. I went to go to the bathroom while my mom stayed in line. All of a sudden I'm shoved to the ground. Someone grips my shoulder pretty demon tight. See you in districts. It was the guy who got a tie with me. I shove him away and glare at him. I shoulder check him and walk away, completely forgetting about going to the bathroom. I walked to the front of the line and snatched the papers. Hey, you can't dash. I grab my mom's hand and walk to our car. Izuku. I'm fine, Mom. I'm so gonna to win against him. //Katsuki // after school I run to Mina's locker and pace back and forth. I see Mina skeptically walk slowly towards me. Should I be scared? I grab his shoulders. Mina. I need your help. Yeah, what up? I drag her away from everyone and stare at her. //Katsuki // oh my god, Katsuki. I'll totally help you. Right now. Let's go. She grabbed my hand and drags me somewhere. I was a little confused until I saw we were heading towards Asuna. Asuna. Come here. Asuna walks over to us and smiles. Well, Katsuki invited me to go to the arcade with him, but I forgot I had some family biz I had to take care of, so I'm giving my invite to you. She blushes and looks at me. Is it okay? I mean, I wouldn't want to intrude or anything. No. It's okay. Asuna looks at me shocked. When are we going? Right now. I look at Mina. Right now. Mina lets go of my hand and walks away, saying bye, leaving Asuna and I alone. Was your first day at least okay? She smiled and nodded her head over and over. Yeah. Your friends are very kind to me, thank you. Yeah, of course. I grab her hand and start walking towards the arcade. I stare at her wide-eyed as she beats every runner-up in this shooting game. A few people even put bets on her. How are you that good? Katsuki, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. She winks at me and goes to play another game. This isn't good, it's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. While she's faced the other way, I grab her waist and pull her closer to me. It'll be dangerous if you continue to wink at me. She bit her lip and her face was visibly beet red. I chuckled and went to go play another game. We start heading back home when the sun's setting. Hand in hand. Thank you for today. Yeah, for sure. We should do this again, but maybe as a date next time. She smiled at me and nods her head. I'd like that. When we get to her house, I decided to be a cheesy. I go a few things up my sleeve. As she says goodbye and walks away, I grab her hand, making her face me. You know, kiss me if I'm wrong, but dinosaurs still exist. She starts laughing. You're too much. Am I wrong though? She smiled and walks closer to kiss me. I deepen the kiss, her hand runs through my hair. This went on for a few more seconds until she smiled through the kiss. I'll see you tomorrow, Asuna. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 reads. I have big boy plans for this book. This is my favorite book I made on Wattpad. I have about 14 drafts that are waiting to be published. Thank you guys again. Smiling face with hearts, smiling face with hearts, smiling face with hearts, red heart, 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 ////. In just 1 month, Katsuki and Asuna were officially dating. They became the it couple. A lot of other girls became very jealous, some boys too. After all, she is dating the Prince of UA, they've gone on many dates and love each other a lot. Katsuki he's slowly forgetting about Izuku, moving on in life. With all these distractions, school, lacrosse, his new girlfriend. All is good for Katsuki, although Izuku is a different story. Izuku is suffering with frustration attraction. Skull and crossbones, he's become more rude and distant. His friends at school say he's just having a bad day, but those bad days last for a whole month. Inko is starting to worry about her son. After all, he's not picking up text messages or calls, not going to school, is getting bad grades, and to top it off, he tried quitting track and field. Koyo obviously talked him out of it. Every day Koyo comes to Izuku's house making sure he's okay, but Izuku just doesn't open the door, or he opens it seeing who it is and slams it in his face. It's not just Koyo though, it's even the mailman too. //Izuku // 3 light knocks. I'm guessing that's my mom. Instead of replying, I put the blanket over my head, knowing the hallway light will shine through my pitch dark room. Izuku, honey. I think you should talk to me about what's going on. It isn't healthy for you to be doing this. She opened the curtains, revealing the bright sun. It's daytime. Izuku, I've waited long enough. It's been a month and you still won't tell me. Mom, I'm fine, I'm just homesick. Technically, I'm not lying. Oh my baby, I know it's hard, but you'll get through it. But I need you to start getting up and doing track again, okay? I guess she's right. It's been too long. I nod my head and she gives me a smile. Wait, what day is it? She sighs and shakes her head. Friday, districts are is 5 months, so train hard, Izuku. It's Friday. What the hell? I didn't even think about the amount of homework I have. Red heart, red heart, red heart, / Katsuki / Katsuki. Asuna hugs me and kisses my cheek. Hi, appealing, how was your day? It's even better now that you're here. It's crazy how we started just dating just after a month of knowing her. I've learned so many things about her. I intertwine our fingers and start walking to my house. We chat about a bunch of random things, wanting the conversation to never end. Our conversations are the best, or even when we're in comfortable silence, it's the best too. We walked into my house being greeted by my mom. Asuna. So glad you're here. Katsuki, I'm off to work. Your dad will be back home late tonight. She hugs me and quickly leaves. Come on. We head upstairs to my room. Apparently she's like 𝗕𝗓𝗁𝗍𝗔𝗄𝗓. She beats me so many times. She said she'll never tell me her secret. Plus an hour later of her kicking my butt, her dad calls her saying she needs to come home. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Not so fast. I grab her hand and kiss her. She instantly kissed back. I have to go. She opens the door and starts walking out. I love you. I hear thumps running up the stairs. She runs up to me and hugs me. And I love you to wanna come over to my place tomorrow. I mean, it is a Saturday. Sure, now go before your dad gets mad at me. She laughs and walks out. I laugh at myself and start cleaning my room. I turn the console off, remake my bed, and pick up the jacket that was on my floor. But when I grab the jacket, I suddenly feel like I'm forgetting something. I sit on my bed staring at the jacket. //Izuku // I got my running outfit on. Black joggers, and a plain black t-shirt, and started running. The jog I went on was really more of a run. At least for 2 hours I was out running. Running really takes my mind away from everything. I'm starting to get back in shape now. After I take my shower, I decide to text Koyo. Izuku, Koyo, I wanted to thank you for checking in with me every day. Koyo, of course Izuku. You're my best friend, smiley face. Izuku, I might regret this, but do you want to come over? Koyo, I'm on my way, smiley face. Not even 5 minutes later, I hear a knock on my door. The second I open the door, Koyo comes barging in with his arms full of snacks. What's that for? Movie marathon. I roll my eyes and laugh. There's the old Izuku. Koyo fell asleep on the couch while I was still watching the movies. We went through at least 7 movies. I already texted my mom and told him Koyo was spending the night. My mom really likes Koyo. I overheard their conversation one time. My mom said, Koyo, I want to thank you for being friends with my Izuku. He hasn't had the best past, but I can tell you mean a lot to him. It's true, Koyo does mean a lot to me. He's actually stuck by my side even when I slammed doors in his face, tried ignoring him, denied his call. He still checks up on me. I look at Koyo with a small smile. Drool coming from the side of his mouth. I was getting a little tired, so I'd feel asleep. / Katsuki / ready Katsuki. Asuna grabs my hand and we start walking to her house. We talk and talk for what seems like hours until we finally arrive the light gray house. The second we walk in, I have that feeling again, like when I picked up my jacket. Like I'm forgetting something. I push it aside. Her dad comes into view. Bakugo, glad you're here. Asuna, I have to leave. I love you. Love you to dad. We walk to her room and the feeling becomes worse. It's this nagging feeling that won't go away. I mean, I didn't forget anything, right? Have my phone. I brushed my teeth this morning. I don't have mismatched socks. I forgot to turn in my homework. Aizawa is gonna be a pain tomorrow. You okay, Katsuki? Yeah, I just forgot to turn in my homework. She giggles and we begin talking about all sorts of things. / Izuku // I wake up to smell pancakes and bacon. I look to my right and see Koyo gone. I walk in the kitchen to see Koyo helping my mom cook breakfast. Morning, sleepyhead. Both Koyo and my mom said at the same time. I groaned and scratched my head. Don't do that again. I'll start seeing Koyo as my mom. If I actually think about it, Koyo acts like my mom sometimes. They both laugh. After we were done eating, Koyo washed his plate and thanked us for his hospitality. Don't be so formal and please call me Inko. Now you have a nice day, okay, Koyo? Goodbye, Izuku. I rolled my eyes and walked into my room. I'm gonna have to start running more for districts. This is gonna 𝗕𝗂𝗁𝗍𝗂. // Lately I've been feeling, I don't know, like I'm forgetting something important. It's been on my mind for a while, but I still can't seem to remember what it is. Is it a place, thing, Bakugo. You good? Yeah, I'm fine, just thinking. Kirishima pats my back. So boys, ready for our next game? VR game? It's not a home game this time. We're playing against the Shooting Stars. The game is held in Hiroshima, Japan. I'm actually kinda excited. Oh yeah, Suna, how's girls lacrosse going for you? It's going really good. People say I'm one of the best on the team. Asuna has been starting to act different in a way. The attention and popularity is starting to get to her head. She's hanging around 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏 sometimes and is acting stuck up. My mind is everywhere. Plus, we lost our game to the Shooting Stars. Their team name isn't even that good. It was our first lose. One guy kept trying to pick fights with me. He'd purposely run into me and target me. As if I'd actually let him do it. Nobody F with me and gets away with it. The last time he was charging at me, I trucked him with all my weight. He fell on his wrist, breaking it. The referees say it as an accident, so I'm not suspended from playing or anything. I would totally reply that moment if I could. The look on his face was hilarious. Asuna stayed and cheered for me at the game. I was glad she was there to cheer me on. It gave me the motivation to push harder. The thing that was that Asuna had invited 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏. She knows that I don't like her. She knows she bullied. I know she bullied someone, but, Katsuki, you were so good. You lost though, you'll win the next game. Asuna comes and hugs me. I was still confused on who she bullied. Awaya? You okay, babe? I look at her intently. She never really said babe to me. It just sounds weird coming from her. Like it should be coming from someone else, but who? I hate my brain right now, this is all giving me a headache. 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏 left early, so wanna walk home together? Yeah, sure. And, I know I'm sorry, I hate huge time skips too. //third forward / the past 5 months have been very hectic for the two boys. Izuku has been training like crazy for districts. While Katsuki has been training for lacrosse too. Asuna, she's something alright. Katsuki was able to have Asuna and 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏 stop being friends. He didn't want Asuna to turn out like 𝗕𝗏𝗢𝗏. They fought about it, but Asuna realized why Katsuki did what he did. Izuku still longs to see Katsuki one day, while Katsuki has forgotten about the boy he once loved. On the bright side of things, Koyo and Izuku have literally become inseparable. They go everywhere together. Stay at each other's houses every day. People once thought they were dating. Izuku lets his guard down while he's with Koyo. Koyo's fun, energetic, happy personality supports Izuku's lack of excitement and emotion. Some say it's like a match made in heaven but friend-wise. / Izuku // oh my god. Just one stupid month until districts. I'd never say it out loud, but I'm actually very nervous. My mom says I'll do great and not to worry. But kids all over America are going. Only the best are there. It's okay, Izuku, you still have a month. That's like what? 30 day. Okay, now it sounds like it's shorter than what it is. I'll do good, no, I'll do great. After school, all kids from Trinity School who's going to districts have to go to the gym and sign up for the events they're doing. I'm gonna go early so I can get the spots I want. Plus, I look at the bell, 20 minutes until school ends. If I do leave when the bell actually rings, then kids would already be there. Koyo and I don't have the same class together, but we're planning on leaving together. I grab my phone and find Koyo's contact. Koyo, I'm gonna start heading out now, dango, but what about the teachers? I don't know, just say you have to go to the bathroom. Wait, what are you gonna do? Walk out? You're just gonna walk out the classroom? Yeah, what if the teacher stops you? Are you just gonna ignore them? Yeah, oh my god, Izuku, you know how the Terminator is? Man facepalming, I don't care, B-wing bathroom. Yup. Dango, I grab my backpack and start heading out. Izuku, where do you think you're going? I shrugged my shoulders and kept walking. 𝗕𝗁 walked over to the school phone. Yes, Izuku has walked out again. My K to hurry up. Usually when he calls the office, they'd have the campus police escort me back to class. I think they're being very extra having a campus police do this. I get to the B-wing bathroom, seeing Koyo look nervous. Izuku, this is so mysterious. I feel like a ninja secretly sneaking around. This is exciting. He yelled. I rolled my eyes. We should hurry. He sighed and shook his head. The Terminator is on his way, huh? Yup. Our nickname for the campus police guy is the Terminator. I don't really think I need to explain how he got that nickname. We made it to the gym only seeing 4 other people signing up for their events. Right on time, 𝗂𝗧𝗄 and I go our separate ways in the gym finding our events. The 100, 200, 400, 1400, and relay. I decided to do the relay because 𝗂𝗧𝗄 always talks about how I'm fast and I'd be perfect for it. Plus, a few minutes later 𝗂𝗧𝗄 and I find each other. My events are long jump, hurdles, and the relay. Mine's 100, 200, 400, 1400, and relay. Izuku, are you sure you're okay with doing all of those? I was about to say something until someone was shouting my name. 𝗂𝗧𝗄 and I immediately looked at each other knowing who it was. The Terminator. We both whispered in annoyance. Izuku. Not again. Do you know how many times I had to come find you? You to 𝗂𝗧𝗄, you boys are always somewhere and up to something. It's wasting my time. He both grabs our arm and drags us back to our classes. When I get to my class, the teacher glares at me. Izuku, stay in class. At least I got the events I wanted. //Katsuki// as soon as she reminds me of someone. I just can't figure out who it is. The past months I've gotten so close to figuring it out, but it immediately slips away. Hey Baku bro, you alright? 𝗕𝗪𝗁𝗢 stands behind me with his hand on my shoulder. Why you stopped walking and we didn't notice, so we went looking for you and you were still standing. What the foo dash? I look around, I forgot I was at the mall. Katsuki, there you are. We were really worried. I turned to see Asuna almost crying. It's fine, I was just thinking. I hug her, which she hugs back. I quickly changed the subject, not wanting to be questioned any further. 𝗕𝗪𝗁𝗢 looked at me weird but kept walking. //Izuku // exactly 2 weeks 36 minutes and 21 seconds until districts 19, 18, 17, 16. Yeah, I can't wait. Outside it looks like I can care less, but in the inside I could bounce around every wall. Izuku. I turn my head and see a girl with jet black hair and green eyes. Like mine but brighter. I stare at her confused. Yes? Come on Ashley, you can do it. So, how I can't do it? I look behind her and I see 𝗂𝗧𝗄 peeking around the wall, trying not to laugh while recording what's happening. 𝗂𝗧𝗄, what the hell are you doing? Izuku. So remember I said I'd try to see who you like. Right, well, surprise, I'm trying. Who even is that girl? I look back at her to see she's walking to us. Sorry Izuku. 𝗂𝗧𝗄 tried getting me to flirt with you, but that's not quite my personality. I narrow my eyes at her and look her up and down. She has black glasses matching her hair and she's carrying pre-calculus. How smart is she? She stuck her hand out. My name is Ashley. Still in shock, I stare at her. She puts her hand down. I hope we can be friends by Izuku, by 𝗂𝗧𝗄. I furrowed my eyebrows staring at her walking away. Why? I told you I'd figure who you're into too. Well, you can't 𝗂𝗧𝗄 because this person doesn't even live in America. What I wanted to say but of course didn't. I just stayed silent while listening to his constant talking. The whole way there he wouldn't stop talking about who I like. So to shut him up I just told him. 𝗂𝗧𝗄, they don't live in America? Oh, so you still like this person even though you've lived in America for half a year? I nodded my head. You must like this person a lot. Yeah, I do. We got to my house and went to my room. Can you tell me more about this of yours? He says all cheekily. I slightly smile and nod. They're really amazing. They're super talkative and is really confident, almost cocky. I let out a chuckle. The first time we meet, well, was when it was my first day. It was raining and neither of us had an umbrella. They gave me their jacket, which I kept forgetting to give back. Then I guess we clicked. We always hung out and overall he made me really happy. I smile to myself. I look over at 𝗂𝗧𝗄 to see he's stunned. What? It's 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙁. I couldn't find the right words. What's his name? Izuku. I was taken aback by his sudden thrillment. Why are you so happy? Because I finally figured out who. He doesn't care. Wait, so you don't what? Of course. You're my best friend. I smiled at 𝗂𝗧𝗄. His name is. Got it? He pulled out his phone and started typing. What are you doing? He didn't answer me until he smirked, showing me a picture. Is this him? He showed me a picture of a guy with spiky blonde hair and red eyes. My eyes widened. I haven't seen him in so long. The emotions I feel are too overwhelming. I break out crying. And no, Izuku. Don't cry. Koyo leans closer to me, awkwardly patting my back. You must really like him, huh? I didn't answer, all I could do was cry. I missed him so much. His smile, his stupid smirk, the way he'd talk to me, the way he'd look at me, the way He'd look at me like I was his world, he'd touch me like I was the most fragile thing in the world, he'd talk to me like we haven't talked in ages. I just want him back. The day of districts. All schools from across the United States were here. I kept my cool and didn't look or talk to anyone but Koyo. I was walking to get water when all of a sudden someone shoved into me. Hey. Oh, sorry, couldn't see you. It was that stupid guy from last time. It's whatever. I try not to give in. I grit my teeth and walk away. Hey, wait. He grabbed my shoulder. Don't me. Whoa, someone's fisty. What do you want? He looked around and smirked at me. Just say. I roll my eyes, walking away. Plus, my first event, I got first place, impressing the judges. I was ahead of everyone. Koyo also got first place in his 2 events. Koyo only had 2 more events to go and get first place, then he'd be placed for championships. Then if he wins championships, then he gets his rightful spot on the board of USA Track and Field 2020. Only the best of track and field runners get up on there. My other 3 track events don't start for another 20 minutes, so I decided to cheer for Koyo. And by cheer I mean silently watch him in the stands, refusing to talk to anyone. I was sitting in the stands when out of nowhere someone slings their arm around me. Don't touch dash. I turned to see it was that guy again. 2 other of his friends sat by me. Boys, this is he said, wanting me to say my name. I grab his head tightly. Touch me again and you'll regret it. I shove his hand away from me. Who knew you'd be like this, Shrimpy? I wouldn't. I turn around and see Nico smirking at him. He'll 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝐴𝐺𝐻. They roll their eyes and walk away. You all good? I mumble a yeah while staring at him walk away. Ever since the competitions for districts, he's always had this grudge towards me. Kick his butt, Shrimpy. Nico says, walking away. Plus, runners for the 400 get in line. The announcer shouts. He placed us in our positions and of course I had to be next to him. Runner on the ready. Go. For the very start, everyone blast off, expect for meaned him. He was keeping the same exact pace as me. I looked over at Koyo and he knew about this guy, so I could see the worry on his face. Stop dash. All of a sudden he trips me. I rolled a couple times and stared at him, jog in shock. What the? I sprint all the way to him, back to my pace. Then I full-on sprint to the finish line, passing everyone who they'd get first place. Like last time we were neck and neck, crossing at the same time. I was so fed up with him my emotions took over. I walked over to him. Good job, Shrimpy dash. I punched him. Yup, just like that. I couldn't stop. He was on the floor trying to get me off of him while punching me too, but I was just so mad. I was mad at him, at me, at Kaken. 2 couches and Koyo got me off of him. Plus, the judges decided that we were to be disqualified. Yup, the day I was excited for was over. Just like that, my mom rushed over to me. Izuku, what was that all about? Oh my god, are you okay? I had a cut lip, black eye, and a sized bruise on my cheek. I turned my head, getting out of her grasp. Mom, I'm fine. Take a look at him. I jerked my head over to where he was. He looked bad was an understatement to say the least. Oh, Izuku. This is a track event, so many people were waiting to see. News vans totally filmed what happened. I shrugged it off, not really caring. I'm just glad I finally did something. Izuku, may I have a word with you? I turned my head to see one of the judges walking towards me. Yeah. He took me to this room. We both took a seat. Izuku, you seem like a great kid with amazing potential. But what you did today was unexceptionable dash. Yeah, I get it. I already had this conversation. He sighs and shakes his head. You're an amazing runner. I want you next year to get your spot on the USA Track and Field. Maybe. He looks at me shocked. Maybe. Do you not realize that a professional judge is talking about how good you are? This doesn't happen often. I'm fully aware of who you are and what's happening. Like I said, can I go now? He shakes his head and nods. Just remember this conversation, okay? I give him one last look walking out. Let's go, Mom. I tell Koyo that I'm sorry I couldn't stay, which he was understanding about. On the way back home I told my mom what happened with that guy and the judge. She made katsudon. Thank you, Mom. She stayed silent playing with her food. What's wrong? Izuku, my job. They want us to take a 6-month business trip back to Japan. I dropped my fork, my jaw wide open. I felt like throwing up. Izuku, I'm so sorry. I know the state you were in when we left and I tried to do something about it, but they won't budge. I didn't know what to say. My emotions were everywhere. I think I'm gonna go take a walk. I immediately ran to Koyo's house, repeatedly knocking on the door. Izuku, what's wrong? He sees me about to cry, which is a rare sight for him. He pulls me inside, sitting me in his bed. And my mom and I have tea to move back to Japan. Koyo freezes. Not talking, not moving. Nothing. I don't want to go back. Why, you never told me what happened back in Japan. I say what the hell and just tell him. Everything. Single thing. Plus, both Koyo and I were crying. Izuku, I'm so sorry. Don't be. We cried harder, remembering the fact that I have to leave. I don't want you to go. Koyo cried out, latching onto me. I don't want to go either, Koyo. That night was a long night for both my mom, Koyo, his family and I. That night I had spent the night at Koyo's. The next day I arrived back home. To my surprise, most of the living was packed. Izuku, we leave in a week. I truly didn't want to leave. I wasn't ready to see 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗢𝗎𝗄𝐴. I wasn't ready to leave Koyo, my best friend. Izuku, I know it's a lot to take in. Booty, need you to start packing your room. Without saying anything, I quietly walked to my room. I sat down on my bed, staring at everything in my room, taking it all in. My mom had already put boxes in my room. I frown at the thought of no longer seeing Koyo. It's just 6 months, I tell myself. 6 long months. I slowly start to pack my room, forcing myself not to cry again. Plus, I laid in my room, consisting of only my bed, dresser, TV stand and TV. It was about 9 and I know my mom felt guilty, which is the last thing I want her to feel. I walked into her, seeing her crying on her bed. Hey Mom, she looks at me and tries to wipe all her tears away. Mom, it's okay, I get it, you tried, it's really not your fault. From the beginning I kinda prepared myself for something like this. She cries out and hugs me. Oh Izuku. I'm so sorry. I hugged her and kept reassuring her that it's fine. She starts calming down but started crying, but even harder. Why do girls do this? Mom, what happened? Izuku, I'm so sorry. Mom, it's fine, I already get dash. I jumped up and started at her in bewilderment. I look at her stomach and I see a noticeable belly bump. How didn't I take notice before? What? How? Wait, don't tell me how. Should I call the police? Are you going to die? I was. My mom has only been Part-1 with me and she tells me how horrible the experience was, but the outcome was amazing. She gets up, grabbing my hands. Izuku, it's okay. I'm okay. It'll all be okay. It was just an accident that happened. Mom, someone isn't an accident. I don't know why I'm being so harsh on her. Lately every little thing has been me off, whether if it's good or bad. She flinched back to the choice of words and the volume of my voice. Izuku, I didn't think you'd be so mad. I harshly JRK back my hands, closing the door to her room. Why are you acting like this, Izuku? Why can't you be a normal kid who socializes with kids their age, who doesn't always run from their problems, who doesn't treat their mom horrible? I went to my room and spent the rest of the night in there. I walked into the living room to see my whole house was already packed. I started panicking, knowing that my did all of this on her own. I walked into her room to see a towel on her forehead and she was asleep. Oh my gosh. I run to go change the towel. I start petting her hair, her eyes slowly open. Hey Mom, how are you feeling? She gives me a weak smile. I'm sorry, Izuku. I start crying, grabbing the bed sheets. Stop apologizing. It's all my fault, Mom. I'm sorry we had to move. I'm sorry I lashed out at you for something you can't control. I'm sorry for being a horrible son. I'm sorry for having you pack everything. I'm sorry for having you stress about me all the time. I'm sorry for being selfish. I'm sorry. A weak cold hand touched my cheek. Oh Izuku, you were never a horrible son. You're my world Izuku. I wouldn't trade you for anything. I hug her and tell her I love her. I wipe my eyes. It's too early to be crying. We both laugh. I'll cook breakfast? Absolutely not. You'll burn down the house. I could not argue with that. Take out? Take out? My last week in Japan, Koyo and I spent every second of it together. Bye Izuku, come back soon. Izuku bro. It was good having you here. Izuku. You're a beast bro, good luck. The attention, I don't like it. I just kindly waved to them. I'll walk you home, Koyo says. The whole way there we talked and made jokes. When we got to my house, neither of us moved. We just stared at the now empty house. In the driveway was a moving truck with all of our stuff in it. I'm gonna miss you, you know. I'm gonna miss you too, Koyo. Out of the corner of my eye I see Koyo crying. I hug him and we stay like that until he stopped. My mom comes out and greets Koyo. Koyo. Hi, it's so good to see you again. I want to thank you again for always being by Izuku's side. It truly means a lot. Koyo starts crying and hugs my mom. Oh, of course. Did anyone tell you that you're an ugly crier, Koyo? Koyo laughs, then hits me. Plus, we say our goodbyes. Ready, Izuku? I look back at the house. Yet we get into the car with the moving tuck latched to the back of the car. Izuku, wake up, we're here. My heart dropped. I shouldn't have slept. It felt like 1 second we were in America, then the next we were back in Japan. I looked to my right and saw a nice house. I swallowed thickly. I looked around us and it seemed like a nice, quiet neighbors. You know, we passed our old house coming here. That made me slouch back in my seat. It'll be fine. Think positive, Izuku. I left Japan with nothing positive, Mom. I said monotonely. Plus, we had repacked our house in less than 5 hours. I did most of it because I wanted my mom to take a break from everything. We ordered takeout again and we sat at the table talking about my school. Izuku, A is the only school that will take you with your record. They were very surprised to hear from us again. But no other schools will take a kid who has 16 detentions, 11 suspensions, and 14 referrals. I roll my eyes. It really wasn't even my fault. There's still no way in going back. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍 for all I care. Izuku, I can't. She puts a hand on her stomach. I have too much on my plate. I hate when my mom does this. She'd purposely make me feel bad. She knows that I give in every time. Why do you do this to me? She starts laughing. Mom, they really hurt me and I don't know how it'll be this time again. I know, Izuku, the teachers are going to keep a good eye on you. They said he put on the 504 plan anyway. What, the 504 plan? She scratches her head and looks the other way. It's for kids with your kind of record. You know the kids, so the teachers keep an eye on them so they won't get into any trouble. I don't want someone breathing down my neck 24/7, Mom. Booty gave in. I'll go to you, the mom. She lightly smiled at me. This time. I you to tell me or a teacher if anyone picks with you, just try not to get another suspension, Izuku. I'll call and register you tomorrow. Plus, I threw my alarm clock across my room. They want me to come in a whole hour before school starts. I did my morning routine extra slow so I could just say I accidentally forgot about going early. But like always, I was done when I needed to be done. My mom drove me to school. It was still a little dark out and no one was even outside. My mom walks in with me into Principal Nisa's office. Midoriya. I'm so glad to you both. My mom smiles and shakes his hand while I don't say anything and sit down. I wanted to discuss what will be happening here. Since you are on the 504 plan, there's a special class for 504 kids. Most people will call you a 504 kid, but don't take offense to that. I'd also like to apologize for what happened last time you were here. The students who partook in that are now expelled. We think it would be best for you to not be in class 1A again. So the schedule for 504 kids is completely different from everyone else's schedule. Your lunches and breaks will be on separate times than the other kids. Sometimes we have the 504 kids fighting the other kids with different schedules. So to prevent that we had new schedules for the 504 kids. He hands me this long list. 504 kids will have 1 PRD less than the regular kids. Your classes will be shorter, you guys will get out half an hour earlier than everyone else. Your homeroom teacher will be a nice woman, her name is Mrs. Mad, she's a specialist when it comes down to kids like you. Once again I'm very sorry for your experience here. I stare at him for a little bit. Yeah. So what's my classroom number? Right, let me show you. We say goodbye to my mom and we start walking. I pass class 1A, I frown knowing Kaken would be in there in half an hour. He takes me in an elevator pushing the 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗛𝗢𝗏 button. This place goes underground. Yup. When we get out of the elevator the hallways looked completely different from everywhere else. There were pictures students drew on the walls. There were art projects too. One picture said, "I'm the best," with a smile and a tongue sticking out. That reminds me of Kaken. We walked to this door, I could hear the commotion from right outside the door. "Everyone, we have a new student. Welcome midoriya." I introduced myself and sat down. Literally 5 minutes into class it was already break. "So how'd you get those bruises?" I still had my bruise and black eyes from districts. I glared over at who said that. "So you're the troubled type, huh? That we all are in here. The name's Dash." I don't care. I was tired and wasn't in the mood for socializing. "Listen here, don't make me Dash." I grit my teeth and punched him. He punched back, resulting in both us punching each other. "Oh. Boys, cut it out." The security who roams around here tackled me to the ground. He me upstairs to 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏𝗏. "Midori, it's your day." I just stayed still and quiet. If students are on the 504 plan they don't get suspended, they get community service. We keep tallies on how many times 504 kids got in trouble. Since this is your first time getting in trouble as a 504 kid, you won't have to do any community service, just don't get in trouble again. After that I was back to room E4. "You two boys will have to be handcuffed for the rest of the day." I walked past Mrs. Mad holding the 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝐷𝐶𝐹𝐹𝑠. "Midoriya. Did you hear me?" "Yeah, I heard you perfectly. There's no way in hell I'm being handcuffed to whoever the hell it is. I'm a specialist who deals with 504 kids. Handcuffing 2 kids together who argue will dash. I don't give 2 F if you're a specialist or not, I'm not being handcuffed." She looked appalled. "I haven't had a 504 kid like you in 4 years. Plus class ended and we were on our way out of the classroom. "Midoriya, could I talk to you?" I sigh in annoyance and walk back. "Tomorrow can we try to have a more day?" "Sure. It's crazy how I've been here for a week and I haven't even seen Kaken." "Okay student." Class started. Today is a rather special day. Only one time a year this happens for you 504 kids. You 504 kids will be able to go to school on a regular schedule for today. Everyone cheered while I sat there in distraught. "Come on guys. They should be expecting you any minute." Everyone was out of the classroom already. "Midoriya, come on." "I'm not going." Plus they dragged me out of the classroom. I didn't fight them or anything, I just didn't make it easy for them. There were only 12 kids in the 504 plan. We'd spend the day in class 1A. The classroom I've been trying to avoid for so long. 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏𝗏 said he told Mrs. Mad to keep an eye on me. When we got in the classroom the room fell silent when I walked in. All 12 kids were in a line. I was on the far right. I didn't want to look at anyone, especially Kaken. My heart was beating so fast. "Holy SHT midoriya." Half the class blurred out. I felt Mr. Izuku grab my shoulder. "Glad to see you again, Midoriya." I looked at Izuku's hand out of the corner of my eye, not saying anything to him. When I finally look at the class I see Kaken looking at me in shock, guilt, sadness, and nervousness. As you all know, we have a special class for the 504 kids. They will be joining you guys on your schedule for today. The whole class was silent looking at me. I was seated in the front row. The only people making noise were the 504 kids. They couldn't make us look good for just one day. That boy, the jacket, his stubbornness, his touches, kisses, 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙢𝗎𝗍𝗂𝗏. Izuku. Remember. You okay? I see Izuku shift in his seat. I remember everything. The first time we meet, the last time I saw him, what happened with 𝗕𝗫𝗓𝗢𝗏. I felt tears threatening to fall. Shitty hair grabbed my shoulder. I think you should go talk to him, bro. At lunchtime I couldn't find him. All 504 kids were sitting with each other, either talking loud, throwing food, threatening each other, or picking fights with us. I saw Izuku walk in. Midoriya. Midoriya. They all chanted. I was scared. I wanted to talk to him. Go. Shitty hair yells. My heart beating fast, adrenaline pumping through me. Izuku. I run to him. He immediately stops. I see his chest going up and down repeatedly. I grab his hand, taking him out of the hall. That's when all the tears spill out. All I could so was embarrass him. He stayed still, not hugging me back. I didn't care though, I just wanted to touch him. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍, he finally speaks up. I hear him cry out and his arms latch around me. I pull away and look at him in the eyes. Where the hell did you go? I haven't seen him in so long. He hasn't changed a bit. He looked away. Right when he was about to say something, someone had to ruin in. There you are. I turn my head and see Asuna. She wraps her arms around me. Izuku's eyes changed to realization and then a hint of anger. He quickly wiped his tears away and walked away. I stand there listening to Asuna while her arms are around me. I literally had him in my reach, and now he won't even look my way. I kept glancing at him in the lunchroom. He just kept quiet, not looking at anyone. All of a sudden he got a call on his phone. Whoever was on the other line made him smile like how he once smiled at me. Koyo was calling me on my phone. I smiled and picked up the phone. Hi Koyo. Hey Izuku, how's Japan? You see that hottie of yours? I look 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍's way and that girl is all over him. I roll my eyes. Yeah, he has a girlfriend. Koyo's end was quiet. Izuku, I'm so dash. Don't be, well, he doesn't deserve to even breathe the same air as you. I laugh. I'm not royalty, Koyo. Sure you are, you know it's about 3 a.m. right now. You better be happy I'm gracing your ears with my voice right now. Ha, Koyo, go to sleep. We'll arrange times we can FaceTime, you get some sleep. Fine, tell Mrs. Midoriya I said hey, I almost Bye. I smiled to myself knowing Koyo would always be there for me. The bell for lunch to be over rang. I started walking back to class 1A, Izuku. That voice, I turn around seeing 𝗕𝗁𝗁 run to me. Let me explain. You don't need to. There's no explaining that 𝗕𝗁𝗁. He flinched a little. Maybe it's because he hasn't heard that nickname is forever. I look behind him and see his girlfriend eyeing us suspiciously. You better go to your girlfriend. I point at her. I think she's getting jealous. By the time he turns back around, I was already walking away. Midoriya. I turn around and see Todoroki. Oh hi Todoroki. Two very monotone kids don't mix well together. I'm sorry about what happened last dash. Doesn't matter anymore. Thanks though. I walk back to my seat, staying quiet for the remainder of the class. I knew 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍 was staring at me most of the class. I felt him staring at me and I didn't like it. I turn around ready to tell him stop when it wasn't him but his girlfriend was staring at me. Even when I turned around and faced her, she was still staring at me. I stared at her back, trying to dominate her. She wouldn't budge. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍 looked our way and gave us both a confused look. He nudged his girlfriend's shoulder, making her look away. I stared a little longer before turning away. As you all know, 504 kids are still your peers in a way. Today I'd like for one 504 kid to go into a group of 3, resulting in 4 or 5 to a group. There you will be discussing the pros and cons of each other. You'll be making Venn diagram. All I ask is for you to get it done and be quiet. He goes back into his yellow sleeping bag. I almost laugh a little seeing how he still does that. I immediately shut down after I processed what he said. I knew in about 5 seconds 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗍 would be at my table. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Work with me, Izuku. I know, I missed him massively, but I think I'm doing fine without him. I don't really know what changed. Maybe it's the fact that he has a girlfriend, or the fact that he's literally been right above of me 7 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Class 1A is directly above us. Your girlfriend wouldn't like that. He looks at his girlfriend to see she's aggressively sharpening her pencil. She thinks you're, I'm sure she'll be happy to work with us. I never agreed to work with Dash. He pulls my hand, dragging me to his table consisting of his girlfriend, Kirishima, and Denki. Usually I'd be Mina and 𝗕𝗫𝗁 too, but they're working with 𝗕𝗁𝘁𝗵𝗆, this one girl I never notice, invisible girl, and you know, the 504 kid who got in a fight with Izuku on his first day. I stare at everyone in the group. Nobody wanted to talk, especially because of what happened last time they saw me. I guess you could just tell us about yourself, Izuku, and how you became a 504 kid. Then we'll make a Venn diagram. I glare at Kaken. I became a 504 kid because we moved here from America -- What? Kaken stands up looking at me. That's where you were the whole time. Don't act like you had nothing to do with why I left. I saw Kirishima say, long story, in Kaken's girlfriend's ear. Bakugo, sit down. He sits down looking guilty and mad. Anyway, when I enrolled here they saw my background and thought I'd be fit for being a 504 kid. On my first day I got in a fight with him. I pointed at behind me who was flirting with Mina. What's your background like? I scratch my head looking away. Honestly, saying it out loud is kinda embarrassing. 16 detentions, 11 suspensions, and 14 referrals. Everyone's jaws dropped. What did you do in America? Nothing really. Just went to school, hung out with Kothi's one person. I ran track and field. I made it to districts, but I got disqualified. How does someone even get disqualified? Kirishima shouts. To punch someone. I feel Kaken staring at me. Kaken, what do you want? I turn to Kaken looking at him. Out of nowhere his girlfriend lets out a scoff. That's cute. I stare at her, making her uncomfortable. Okay, how about another question? Midoriya, were you one of the I guess? I didn't really like the attention though. Kirishima eyes lit up. I know he's happy that America wasn't like here, and that's why I can tolerate him. He never really wronged me. Give us the debts. I nervously smiled. Well, you see, there was this well-known kid who used to pick on kids, and he picked on me, but I got annoyed, and after that I learned that no one's ever really put him in his place. I shrugged, not wanting to look at Kirishima's lit-up expression. How manly. He earned shushes from Aizawa trying to sleep. I felt Kaken and his girlfriend staring at me. I'm trying my best to not flip out on them, because if I do, 𝗎𝗓 said he'll have to give me a week of cafeteria and classroom cleaning after school. His girlfriend spoke up and asked a question. Is my house his old house? Yeah. She in my old house. How fortunate is that? So, where do you live now? I take a while to respond. By the mall. I don't get why he does that. I've always never understood why he does that. Whenever someone he doesn't like or doesn't know or doesn't talk to, he's very short-answered. I don't get why Asuna is acting this way either. Sure, she's getting into fights, ditching class, getting referrals. The one thing I'm extremely happy for him is that he's finally sticking up for himself. I guess that's a positive outcome from America. Why did you move? I was both mad and annoyed by this point. Asuna stopped -- because I fell in love with someone I shouldn't have, resulting in someone getting. Our table fell silent. I just stared at Kaken the whole time. Kirishima occasionally glanced between Kaken and I but wouldn't say anything. I dropped the pencils that was in my hand and walked out of the class. 𝗎𝗓 said if I even take a break, I only get a 5-minute break because he knows I wouldn't go back. When 5 minutes is over, I go back sitting down. You good, Midoriya? Kirishima places his hand on top of mine. I nodded my head. So we already started on the poster. All we need into color and 6 more facts. Asuna's legs were on top of Kaken's. I can't even be mad at him. I left, he moved on. It's simple. It's a cause and effect that I have to suffer through. Did you have a friend in America? Asuna asked. Yeah, his name is Koyo. He was born in Gyeongju. She smiled and nodded. Kirishima quickly wrote it down. I looked over at Kaken and he was looking down at his lap, not making eye contact with anyone. His girlfriend whispered something in his ear. He finally looked up and shook his head. Asuna spoke up. I have to go to the bathroom, I'll only be a few minutes. Kaken and Kirishima nodded their heads. Did you do anything else at America? Not really. Kirishima nodded his head. I'll go get some markers. I wanted to tell him no and that I'll get it, but he was already up and walking. Now it was just me and Kaken alone. Izuku, I am. Sorry, I didn't realize what 𝗬𝗓𝗏 was doing to you. My heart churned. It's whatever. It's over now. But it's not whatever. She did horrible things to you and I was too stupid to see it. You had no choice but to leave, but when you did leave it really hurt me. He spoke with pain, he was sincere. My eyebrows knit together. Kaken, when I left dash. I'm back. Sorry I took so long. I look away, wiping my eyes. Kaken continued looking at me. Did I interrupt something? I gave her the best smile I could. No, you came back just in time. She smiles at me back. Okay. Kirishima comes back with the markers he had to bribe Yuno for. Yuno is one tough cookie to crack. How manly. Can I talk to you in the hallway, Izuku? I look at Kaken with a straight face. No. I really don't want to talk to him. His girlfriend would probably be lingering around somewhere. He gets up, taking my wrist, pulling me outside. But I know, right? Kirishima tried covering for us. He still held onto my wrist until we were at the end of the hallway, far away from Class 1A. When you left, what? His glare was harsh on me. He's never looked at me that way. What? You were going to say something, but Asuna came back. The way he spoke was plain and his eyes were piercing through me. It's nothing. You can't just forget. His voice became more harsh and rude. Sure I can, that's what I wanted to do from the beginning. Forget you, Raraka. Forget you. For you. It's not that easy. Every second that went by you were always in my head. I couldn't stop regretting the decision I made. I wanted to stay with you, but I couldn't. It hurt me a lot thinking about how you could be with someone else, and I was right. His face changed to complete regret and guilt. I forgot about you. For easy words broke my heart. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want to hear what I just heard. What? I forgot about you. I forgot about you. Izuku's tears started to slowly fall from his eyes. He forgot about me. I wiped my eyes and put on the best smile I could. It's okay, you have Asuna now and she's very pretty. Believe it or not, I kinda saw it coming. I walked away heartbroken. I didn't see it coming. Yes, I knew he'd move on, but it hurt when I actually saw him with someone else. I didn't go back to class, but instead my house. I stayed in my room for the rest of the night that day, not even coming out for food. I just felt so mentally exhausted. I sat in my desk and waited for the class to begin. What happened after the blonde talked to you? You didn't go back to class. It's nothing. He gave me one last look before nodding. Mrs. Mad came in along with Nizu, All Might, and Midnight. I for sure thought they were going to bust me for skipping. Hello, kids. For the past few days, Nizu, All Might, and Midnight have been watching you guys. They think you've been well enough to partake in dorms. Everyone cheered while I sat there utterly confused and shocked. You 12 will be put with Class 1A. You all will have your own dorm rooms. You will all share the living room, kitchen, and bathroom. I know how you 12 can be, so don't get into any fights. She gave Yuno an IA glance when she said that. I can't be in the same area as Kaken. I know a lot of drama will stir between us 2-3 because of his girlfriend. Starting tomorrow, you guys will be in your guys' new dorms. Tomorrow. I head to class with my stuff in a suitcase. Everyone had their stuff and was eagerly waiting. Ready, kids? I start getting mad at Mrs. Mad's cheerful voice. We stand in front of the dorms. Here goes nothing, Suka said. She opened the door, revealing all of Class 1A. Welcome. We stood there, staring at them, making them all start getting uncomfortable. I roll my eyes and Yuno runs up to Kirishima. Bro, they do their weird handshake thing. That seemed to make everyone feel comfortable. They all started chatting with one another while I tried quietly leaving. There was a paper on the table with 12 keys. I looked down the paper, finding my name, room 18. I quickly leave and find my room. When I get to my room, I hear muffled laughs. Katsuki. It was muffled, but I knew that high-pitched, annoying voice. I quickly try to unlock the door. I quickly open the door. There was a queen-size bed, dresser, TV, and 2 nightstands on both sides of the bed. I get on the bed and put my head in the pillows, yelling muffled curse words. I screamed in the pillow, wanting to jump off a building. Why me? Why do I have to be by either Asuna or Kaken? It could have been any other little SHT, but it had to be. I heard the door beside me open and close, meaning one of them left. I decided to unpack and change out of my school uniform. I set up my clock to the right time. I plugged in my laptop and sat it on the desk. I sat on the chair finding Koyo's contact. Izuku. I quickly hit the sound bar, turning it down. Hi Koyo. How's Japan? Crazy. I've been put into a 504 class because of how much trouble I got in America. Don't even get me started about what happened today. Today we moved into dorms and guess who I am next to? Ooh. Kaken. It's either that or his annoying girlfriend Asuna. I mocked her name, making Koyo start laughing. Sorry Izu, I wish I could be there though. I wish you could be here too. I kinda miss your constant talking. Me. You talk your head off when you're around me. Don't ruin my butt image. Koyo laughs again. Sorry if I'm calling you at like 2 a.m. Nah, it's good. It's actually 3. Plus it's a weekend anyway and talking to you is so much better than sleep. How sweet. I talked to Kaken. I don't think it went really well. I think I did better than I would when I finally saw him. Like I said, forget about him. If he doesn't want you, he doesn't deserve to have the amazing conversations with you or the amazing smile of yours or the amazing comfortable silence. He's not your worth, Izuku. I smiled and thanked him. I think you should get some sleep. I'll talk to you later, Koyo. Bye, Izuku. I sigh, closing my laptop. I lied. It did hurt bad when I saw him the first time. It completely shatters my heart when I see him with Asuna. It hurts me a lot just talking about him, hell, even looking at him. I tried covering my sadness with an I don't care attitude when in reality it hurts so bad. There was a loud knock on my door. I looked at the clock and it was 8 o'clock. They kept on knocking over and over. Shut the F up. I threw a pillow at the door. Izuku, get your butt up. It was Yuno with his over-aggressive and loud voice. Yuno, shut up. It's too early for this. Despite what I said, he kept banging. I groaned, opening the door, shoving him away. I get it. I yelled. He shoved me back, so I shoved him back. Other kids around us started to get out of their dorm rooms. I landed the first punch, and he landed the second. You see, Yuno and I's relationship is very weird. We constantly get into arguments and fist fight, but at the end of the day we can always talk to each other one-on-one and have conversations. We threw a few punches until Mrs. Mad came out of nowhere. 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 is apart. I knew it. It's the first day and you two already got into a fight. He woke me up for no reason. He was just doing it to be annoying. Yuno started to speaking up. I did it because your mom is here, dumbass. Why didn't you say that from the start, you? He looks away, making a tease. Mrs. Mad let us go, knowing there were more fights to come. I came downstairs. My mom ran to me, looking at my face. Again, Izuku. I moved my face away from her hand. I'm fine. Why are you here? My tone was rather harsh. She looked at me, scared for a second. I came here to give you some 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗍, but if you don't want it, I'll just leave. Half of class 1A heard our conversations and probably think I'm a total PP for talking to my mom like that. My mom start walking away, sniffing. I sigh and run a hand through my hair. I pull her outside, not wanting anyone else to eavesdrop. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to act so rude. I was just already mad. I gave her a hug. And of course I'll take the 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗍. I love your 𝗕𝗁𝗏. My mom smiles happily, giving me the 𝗕𝗁𝗏. We decided to go for a small walk. How's the baby? She smiles, rubbing her stomach. She's doing great. I almost dropped the 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗍. I felt my eyes start to water. I'm going to have a sister. I start crying from excitement. She hugs me, rubbing my back. I'm very happy you're happy about having a sister. I don't get you teenagers and I laugh, wiping my eyes. When we go back to the dorms, I hug her goodbye and walk in with a smile. I'm so happy right now. I'm actually going to have a little sister. I get a few glances. Today definitely made me look bad. Within the first few minutes of me waking up, I get into a fight, then talk back to my mom. Yup, I looked like a total. I went back to my dorm. When I opened the door to my room, Kaken walked out of the dorm beside me. We both froze, staring at each other. 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. I get in my dorm, slamming the door before he could say anything else. There were a few light knocks on the door. Izuku, can we talk? I sat there contemplating if I should open the door or not. Part of me wanted to open the door and hug him, but the other part wants to yell and flip out on him. I walked to the door, hesitantly opening the door. Yes. I didn't want to make eye contact with him because if I did I knew my wall would break down and give in. See, can we talk? There's nothing to really talk about. I said everything I needed to say the other day. You forgot about me, it's okay. You don't need to keep reminding me about it and constantly apologizing. I just wanted to check in with you, see how you're feeling. I finally look him in his eyes. A few tears fall. How I feel. Picture a vase complete shattered in a million pieces. Now try putting the vase back together. That's how I feel. Completely broken and hurt. His eyes widened, he opened his mouth. I already knew he was going to start apologizing. Stop, I get it. You're sorry, I said it's fine. I closed the door, not wanting to talk anymore. I hate how he can easily make me cry, nervous, happy. I stayed in my room all day. I didn't need to go out for food because my mom cooked me katsudon and I barely get hungry often anyway. I was watching Netflix on my laptop for the 6th hour today. I bet everyone thinks I'm dead'll come out tomorrow if I feel like it. I've been doing a lot of things to distract myself from thinking about Kaken. I just can't help it though. I counted how many times his door opened. 23 times. I don't really actually know if it's his girlfriend's dorm or Kaken's. All I know is that it's one of theirs. I know I sound like a crazy ex, but it's not that I don't know, I just miss him. I have to reason with him someday. I know he wants to talk and me shutting him out all the time is only making it worse. I'll talk to him sometime this week. I check my clock and see it 3 in the morning. Last time I checked it was only 10 p.m. My body is going to hate me tomorrow. I shut my laptop off and start going to bed. Today I didn't wake up to loud banging but instead arguing out in the hall. I get mad at swing the door open. Can't I get one peaceful morning? I look and see Asuna and Kaken arguing. They stopped and looked at me. Kaken averted his eyes. You guys have a room, argue in there? Kaken told Asuna to go back into the room but she wouldn't. Instead she turned to me looking, is it true? You're gonna have to fill me in on what you're talking about. I say tiredly, it's too early for this. Why are they even arguing at 8 in the morning? You and Katsuki dated? She stared me straight in the eyes. I turned to Kaken and he stood there not saying anything. I look back at Asuna. Nope, it's not true. Kaken looked up at me. Can you both shut the hell up now? Asuna seemed satisfied and nodded. Are all girls like this? Right when I was about to peacefully lay my head down, someone knocked on the door. I fake cried to myself being overdramatic. I turned around screaming in the pillow. I regret ever agreeing to moving into these stupid dorms. I opened the door only to have Kaken walk his way through. What are you doing? He sat down on the bed facing me. Talk to me. I just did. Now can you leave? I held the door open. He sat there staring at me. I sighed, closing the door. We can talk once I finally get some sleep in these stupid dorms. I lay down, covering the blankets over me. I feel him stare at me, which I don't like. Can you stop staring at me? It's rude and impolite. I snicker at the small meaningless joke. He doesn't say anything and continues to stare at me. You stubborn if, fine. We can talk now. I sit up facing him with a tired glare. What do you want to talk about? I wanted to ask him so many things. But I knew he didn't like questions being asked about him. My mind was at 100. I had so many questions but so little time. How have you been? Fine. There he goes again. Being short answered. I sigh knowing I won't get anything out of him. I'm sorry. This is like the 600th time I've apologized. I just can't deal with the regret, pain, and guilt I'm feeling. Okay. Why can't you just talk to me? I start raising my voice. Because it hurt me when said you forgot about me. It hurt me seeing Asuna with you, and I lie and say it's okay when really it hurts. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't think about you or what we would be doing if I didn't leave. Every decision I'd have to make I'd think, what would you do? Just the of you was my motivation. I didn't need anyone else, it was you. So when you said you forgot about me, it felt like a big F you in my face. I stare wide-eyed at him. Tears were rolling down his face uncontrollably. I didn't think it would have such a big impact on him. He looked mad, broken, and vulnerable. The feelings he hated feeling. I did the most unthinkable thing. I leaned in, kissing him. I wanted to savor the kiss forever. It felt so foreign, so sweet. I wanted it to last forever. I missed this feeling, the feeling I'd have when I'm around him. The smile only I got to see. The laughs only I got to hear. He pushed me back and stood up crying even more and look even more. No, you don't get to do that to me. I stood up 𝗔𝗪𝙢𝙧𝙮. But it's my fault for falling for you again and again only to see that you were never going to choose me. I've stayed up for hours on end thinking about you and wondering if you were okay. I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you. With each word he shoved me harder and harder. All I could do was regret everything and watch him break. He clutched onto my shirt, burying his face into my shirt. I hate you so much. He sobbed. I let him cry. I couldn't do anything or say anything knowing it would upset him more. Just leave. He let go of my shirt. Felt horrible. Leaving him in such a vulnerable state. But I knew I had no choice. When I closed the door I heard a muffled yell and something crash hardly down on the floor. Oh my Izu, how much I want to hold you and tell you everything's okay. You shut me out every time though. You shut out everyone who tries to help you. Sometimes I don't get you, but what I do get is whatever happens in the future I will always love you and hold you dear to my heart. Smiling face with sunglasses. It hurts too much. It hurts me. I've sometimes thought about suicide. It's the easy way out. Plus my mom has a daughter on the way anyway. I just don't know how much longer I can take the constant pain. I'm getting ready to go to 𝗕𝗁𝐻's office to turn in my slip that'll take me off the dorm list. It's been a week since that argument 𝗕𝗁𝐁 and I were in. I slept only a couple hours that week. The whole week we both didn't look at each other or speak to each other. A couple people found it odd, but considering what happened last time I was here they kept quiet. When I walk out I see Asuna and 𝗕𝗁𝐁 in the living room. I walk past them until Asuna yells my name. Midoriya. I kept walking ignoring her. She grabs my shoulder. I turn around glaring at her. Don't touch me. She takes her hand off. Sorry. I head for the front door. Forgive me for asking, but what are you doing? I hold up the piece of paper. Oh, when I get to 𝗕𝗁𝐻's office it was just him. Considering the fact that it was a Saturday. Midoriya, what can I do for you? I sit down handing him the paper. What? How come? I'm just tired. He sits down being tuned in the conversations. Tired with what? Everything. I wipe my eyes not wanting to cry. Midoriya, what do you mean? I mean everything. School, people, I'm just tired and I want a break. 𝗕𝗁𝐻's eyes soften and turn into concern and sadness. Midoriya, that seems like a cry for help. I want you to know that whatever you need I'm here for you, but you have to let me in. I look away and go into detail about how I've been feeling for the past few months. How I've been thinking about suicide for the past month. I've been thinking about it before I even saw 𝗕𝗁𝐁 again. I was just so tired with everything. With the way I treat my mom, people who try to be nice to me, I F up every nice thing in my life. I told 𝗕𝗁𝐻 everything about 𝗕𝗁𝐁 and how that made me think about it even more. I grew a habit of biting my nails whenever I'd think about suicide. I was just constantly sad. As a kid and as a teenager. People constantly kept telling me to smile more or to be more happy. If I could, I would. It was just so hard for me to find joy. So when 𝗕𝗁𝐁 came along it felt amazing. The feeling of being happy. I truly did love him. That's why I acted extreme when I saw him with Asuna and he told me how he had forgot about me. It felt like the moments we had were thrown away in the trash, never to be thought of again. So when I moved and met Koyo I finally found that happiness again. But it wasn't the same, then we had to leave. The happiness is still there when I get to talk to Koyo. But it's not the same as when I'm with 𝗕𝗁𝐁. It feels like it's just me and him, it feels like fireworks are going off, it feels like the best thing in the world. I know it sounds cheesy but it's true. By the end of our conversation 𝗕𝗁𝐻 came to the conclusion that I was suffering with depression and never got treated for it. He called my mom in and she was a sobbing mess. She thought it was just how teenagers acted. We arranged a doctor's appointment for me. My mom kept thanking 𝗕𝗁𝐻 over and over again. When we were about to leave 𝗕𝗁𝐻 called my name. I want to thank you for trusting me and letting me in. I know it must have been hard for you. He gave me back the paper. Please, think about this over again. I gave him a true genuine smile and thanked him. I'm forever grateful for 𝗕𝗁𝐻. From the begging he stuck by his word and was there for me. The day of the doctor's appointment was today. They wanted to make an appointment immediately. We arrived at the doctor's and we got checked in. The doctors ran tests on me and asked me. My mom held my hand on the brink of tears. Your son has been diagnosed with major depression. He's been untreated for more than 12 years. I'll give you these medicine, but it will make you feel more sad and tired for a couple of days because you're getting used to them. I do have to warn, this medication will stimulate your SEC drive. Mrs. Midoriya, I advise you for the first few days to not let him out of your sight. His emotions will be everywhere, so please have patience with him. My mom aggressively nodded while crying. This was a lot to take in. My mom called Nizu and told him what happened. They decided that I'd stay home for a week. Aizawa and Nizu called us all into the living room for something urgent. I couldn't find Izuku, so my heart was already on 10. Your fellow classmate Izuku Midoriya is going through a lot right now. He came and talked to me about a few things later to find out he was mentioning suicide. His mother and I came to the conclusion that he has depression. Our conclusion was true. He'll be at home for a week. When he comes back, please act normal and don't bombard him with things. Thank you, students. Aizawa and Nizu bowed to us. We were left there shocked. Especially me. I felt people's gaze on me. Suicide. I couldn't think. My heart ached so bad. If he didn't talk to Nizu, would it have been too late? Red heart. The past week I've felt very mentally drained. After a few days on the pills, I've noticed a change in me. I'd be a little less irritable. Today was the day I go back to school. I've talked to Koyo about all this and he was, like always, there supporting me. My mom drove me to school. She waved to me goodbye. When I got to room D2, it was silent. When they saw me, everyone smiled and ran towards me. Midoriya. Glad you're back. I lightly waves to them. Yuno slung his arm over my shoulder. I want you to know, no matter how many fights we get into, I'll always have your back. Thanks. His smirk faltered into unsure. Was also Nizu told us what happened. So is this what I get for telling someone about something? Don't get mad, Izuku. Nizu is very smart. He knows what he did and did it for a good reason. Deep breath in, deep breath out. The rest of the school day went by okay. 504 kids were all on our way to the dorms. When we walked in, the whole class were awkwardly doing odd things. Mineta and Denki were looking a lap. Kirishima was doing jumping jacks in the middle of the living room. Mina was wiping the floors, the girls loudly talking, acting like everything was normal, and Todoroki and Ito were making a handshake. The 12 of us all shared looks. Midoriya. Denki and Kirishima ran over to me. Denki quickly shoved me in a chair. We made you your fave food. Katsudon. Kirishima put the bowl in front of me. Ito ran over to me, giving me a back massage. Gosh, you must be so stressed out with homework. Let's me calm you down. Mina ran over to the faucet, getting me water. Here, have some water. You guys, it's fine. I'm just tired is all. They all aggressively nodded. Let us carry you. Your feet must be tired. Care for a foot massage? How about a back scratcher? Guys, I tried talking. Or maybe a nice hot shower? Should we go prepare a bubble bath instead? Guys, I'm fine, really, I'm just tired. I walked upstairs, going to my room. Mina and I both bumped. We totally acted normal. I know, I bet he was so happy when we surprised him. Mina, Denki, Siro and I did our victory dance. All of a sudden, Yuno hit me on the back of my head. You dipshits, he already knows Nizu told you guys. Oh, I sat on the couch, watch everything unfold. I want to go to talk to him, but the other day Nizu pulled me aside, telling me that he just needs space for a while. I don't know how long a while is, but I just want to see if he's okay. I know last time that didn't go well. I sit there contemplating what he's doing, or if I should go check on him, or if I should just listen and stay away. The last time I talked to him, he made it very known that he didn't want to see or speak to me again. Should I ask Asuna to check if he's okay? No. It seems like he's not a big fan of her. I sigh, getting up, going back to my dorm room. I walk past Izuku's door, noticing it's halfway open. I hear quite crying. I didn't like hearing him cry. I lightly knocked the door before opening it fully. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗍. He looked up at me with desperation in his eyes. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗍𝗁. He tried to quickly wipe his eyes. Can I sit? I asked him, pointed next to him on the bed. He nodded his head. I closed the door, walking to the bed. I looked over at him. His eyes were red from crying. How are you holding up? As you can see, I'm doing great. Sorry that they completely acted the opposite of normal. I mean, who stares at lamps and wipes the floor? He let out a laugh, wiping his eyes. I smile to myself, hoping this is getting us somewhere. I sigh, laying down. He joins me, laying his head on my chest. Was it because of me? What? I didn't want to say it without hurting him in some way. It made me feel all these emotions when I thought that I could be the reason why he thought about suicide. You thinking about killing yourself? He stayed quiet for a little bit. Partly why. I thought about it before all this happened. It was my fault. Whether it was half or not, it was still my fault. I'm so sorry. The last thing I'd ever want is for our last conversation to be about you hating me. His hands reach for mine. It's okay. We stayed there silent, finally enjoying each other's presence. After that, he talked about everything that happened in America. I told him how I was in lacrosse, and he looked so happy when I said my number. Apparently we were the same number. He interlaced our finger, staring at our connected hands. I missed these a lot. Me too. After that, I heard soft snores coming from him. I smiled to myself, seeing him sleep. Every memory of him just came popping up out of nowhere. I enjoyed it. I covered him in his blankets and kissed his forehead. Good night, Izu. I woke to peace and quiet. I remembered what happened last night with Kaken and I. I smiled to myself and hugged my pillow. I really did enjoy talking to him last night. Talking to him made me feel so much better about everything. It felt amazing when we talked and laughed. I still feel happy. I got out of bed with an extra boost. I brush my teeth, grab my pills, and head downstairs. When I get to the living, Yuno and Kirishima were there. They stopped their conversation and stared at me. I ignored them and got water, talking my pills. What the F? Usually you'd tell us to F off. Yuno said in shock. F off. I said cheekily. He smirked at me and held out his fist. Glad to have you back. I fist bumped him. Thanks. I joined their conversation, which I talked in. While we were talking, a few other people came downstairs. Two of those few people were Asuna and Kaken. Kaken looked my way, and I glanced at him while still talking with Kirishima and Yuno. Kirishima and Yuno both nudged my shoulder. Yuno said, "Did you and Bakugo work everything out?" Kirishima finished. I smiled to myself. Yeah. Well, look at that smile. I'm glad you're happy. I thanked both of them. I continued talking to them until Asuna called my name. Midoriya. I glance at Yuno and Kirishima. Then I glance at Kaken for longer until looking at Asuna. Instead of replying with, "What the hell do you want?" I didn't trust my mouth, so I just stared at her, which probably wasn't any better. See, can we talk? I look at Kaken and he has a confused look on his face. I'm sure. She gets up and I follow her. She stops walking when we're in the hallway. If the dorms. I just have a question. No SHT. Usually when people ask to talk, they have a question. I wanted to say that, but I just nodded. The week you were gone, Katsuki told me about how you two were really good friends and how much you meant to him. So when 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆 said you were thinking about suicide, he kept himself in his room all day and didn't even eat. Kirishima and I had to force him out of his room. So I kinda just wanted to check on you one-on-one. I get that you don't like me, but I still wanted to check in with you. She spoke with care and worriment. A/N. Is that even a F word? It means a lot when someone checks in on me when I've been in butt to them. It shows they're trying to have at least a decent relationship with me. The girl I was so carelessly rude to is now in front of me, seeing if okay. I give her a hug, which she was a bit startled. Thank you, Asuna. It means a lot, really. I'm fine. Kaken and I talked about it yesterday and we're fine. I give her a smile and smiles at me back, and we walk back talking. Confused the hell out of people. I'd be confused too. Ever since I met her, I've been in butt to her, and now we're peacefully talking. Kaken looks utterly confused, which I try not to laugh at. I grab a bowl and grab cereal and milk, sitting down a chair away from Asuna. I focus on pouring my cereal. I didn't notice Kaken staring at me with kind, happy eyes. I look at him and smile. You doing better today? Yeah, but the pills I'm on make me less hungry, so I barely ate over the week I was with my mom. Asuna gets up saying she has to call her mom. I'm glad you're doing better. I smile to myself playing with my cereal. Thank you. What was that all about with Asuna? My smile falters when I remember Kaken kept himself in his room when he found out She just wanted to check in with me and see how I was doing. As she told me how you stayed in your room the week I was gone along with some other things, it really isn't your fault. He looks down not talking. You said it was partly my fault, 𝗕𝗓𝗄𝗕. I should have just lied. You had no control over what you did though. Yeah, it hurt me a lot that you moved on, but it happens. He looks at me with tears eyes. I miss you and I want you to know I love you. I give him a smile, but the smile meant nothing when tears were about to fall from my eyes. Relieved face, his voice sounded weak and heartbroken. It's true, I love him so much. It's just hard dealing with Asuna and still having my feeling for him. I wanted to kiss him, hold him. He wiped his eyes and started to put away his cereal. He was walking back to the dorm rooms when I ran up to him, grabbing his hand and walking to his dorm. Kaken. I went to his dresser and picked out some clothes. What are you doing? I put the clothes on the bed. Be ready in 5 minutes. What? He mumbled to himself. I left the room going to mine to change. I opened his door to see him changed and was on his phone. Come on. Can you tell me what we're doing? For all I know, you could take me to the forest and kill me off. He tries not to laugh but failed when I started laughing. He gets up and we start walking somewhere I have in mind. We walked hand in hand. I've missed this so damn much. Close your eyes. He closed his eyes. I hear loud metal, kids screaming, I knew it, you're going to kill me. We both started to laugh. Just walk a little bit further. He squats down, walking, moving his arms, trying to find something so he won't bump into it. I laughed so hard considering the fact he's going the complete opposite way. I grab his waist, redirecting him. Okay, you can open your eyes. His mouth dropped. The fair. I completely forgot the fair was coming. I smiled at him at how happy he is. This is all I wanted to see. The smile only I got to see. The laughs only I got to hear. The hugs only I got. His body only I could touch. I smirked to myself at the last thought at my head. He pulls by my arm. Come on. You're talking forever. I picking him up and running to the entrance. When we got to the entrance, I let him go. He still had the smile on his face. When we got in, he ran to each and every booth. One guy was startled by his excitement. Calm down. I laughed. He grabs my hand and smiles at me. I'll give you $20 if get on that by yourself. He looks at what I'm looking at. It's a tall thing that goes all the way up super fast. Swings you around, then drops you. It does it to you 3 times. He smirks at me. Who do you think I am? I'm taking the $20. Wait, you also have to eat something. So if you throw up, you don't get the $20. Despite what he said about his pills, I still made him eat. He chews a corn dog. He only ate half of it, so when he was ready, we made our way to the roller coaster. One of the workers buckled him in. He starts telling the guy who's buckling him if he falls to his death, his ghost will haunt him and his mom would sue him. I laugh at him. I finally have him back. His humor hasn't changed either. I see. Ready, set, bye-bye. I hear Izuku start screaming. I couldn't hear him when he was all the way at the top though. When they came back down, I saw him covering him mouth. You backing out? I yelled. He flips me off as they go back up. When they got out, he immediately rushed to me. The $20 wasn't worth it. But I still did it without throwing up, so pay up. I smirk and hand his $20. We go on a few more rides and play at multiple booths. Izuku saw a plushie of Nizu and decided he'd taunt Nizu when he goes back. He ended up whining the plushie on the first try. I'm amazing. I know, he says with a smug face. Someone told us that if you go at sunset you could see everything from above. Every year at 7 o'clock they'd set off fireworks so we'd be able to see them in the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel goes around 4 times. By the second time the fireworks should go off. He stopped moving and started playing with his fingers. I'm not sure why you took me out today, but 2 had a lot of fun. And I get that you'd go back to Asuna, which is completely fine. He says it's fine, but he looks really sad again. Izuku, you don't have to say anything, let's just enjoy today and our time we're spending together right now. He gave me the best smile he could. He looked out the window staying quiet. I couldn't help but feel bad. I grab his hand, he looked at me as I saw tears in his eyes. I grab his cheek and lean in kissing him. His hand grabs my wrist. I know he wants to stop, but I need this right now. I need right now. More tears fall out of his eyes. He started to kiss back. Everything felt like this is how it was supposed to be all along. His arms wrap around my neck, pulling me closer. His lips on mine felt so foreign but so sweet. I pulled away and looked into his crying emerald eyes. He wraps his arms around my neck, hugging me. He starts sobbing loudly. I missed you so much. I hugged him back, trying not to cry myself. I missed you too. We went back to the dorms quietly. Izuku apologized for crying and probably ruining that day. I reassured him that this was the most amazing day I had with him. We came back to see everyone having dinner. Hey, you guys are back. We made plates for you guys, Asuna said. I looked at Izuku and he sadly smiled at Asuna. I'm not actually hungry at the moment, thanks though. I think I'm just going to go to I'm going to bed. Everyone waved him goodbye. I watch him leave knowing he was sad about Asuna and I'll be back. I run after Izuku. He was right in front of his door. He was holding onto the door handle, contemplating something. Izuku. He looked up at me, wiping his eyes. It hurts me knowing he cries to himself, not wanting anyone to see. He opens his door, almost closing it, but I stopped the door. I opened the door going into the room. I closed the door. I turned to him to see he was taking his shoes off. He immediately got in bed, putting the covers over his head. I heard his sniff and cry. Why did you kiss me? I stayed quiet and sat on his bed. He took his head out of the covers, revealing how sad he really was. The sad expression was mixed with a glare thrown my way. Did you kiss me? I stay quiet again, not knowing what to say. Why did you kiss me? He raises his voice. Again I stay quiet. Why did you kiss me knowing that you'd go back to Asuna? Why did I kiss you back? He tried to not cry but failed. It's not fair. It's not fair that you get to constantly hurt me. Everything you do, it hurts me. And in the end I always come crawling back to you. Can't you see everything you do, everything you say, every look my way makes me fall deeper and in love with you? I didn't know what to say. I kissed him because I'm still madly in love with him. I look his way because I love the sight of him. I talk to him because I love hearing his voice. I think we need space. A lot of it. So please just don't talk to me. I couldn't do anything but respect his choice. I wanted to argue with him and tell him I love him and I can't stop talking to him. I hold his shoulders and make him look at me. Izuku, I love you too much to do that. I can't go an hour without looking at you, let alone talking to you. You mean too much to me. I hug him and don't let go. Let go of me. He demands. I continue hugging him, not letting go. Let go of me. He really does mean a lot to me. I know it's hard to see that when I'm dating a whole other person. 𝗕𝗁𝗁 let go of me. He starts crying again. I'm not letting go. Not until he realizes that I love him too much to walk away. He sobs and hugs me back tightly. I hate you, 𝗕𝗁. I lightly laughed. I know. We lay down and started talking. Though because he was crying he kept stuttering. I rub his back and allow him to take his time. Neither of us bring up Asuna. We talk about random things, laughing at each other's jokes. It was amazing. I feel so happy when I'm with him. He calmed down. He thanked me for today. Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. All of a sudden he starts laughing. What's so funny? I start to lightly laugh out of confusion. Nothing, just thinking about if I gave you the $10 for a kiss. I looked at him shocked but smirked. Keep your money. I lean in, kissing him. He kissed back. His hand moved to my neck while his other was leaning him up, straddling me. The kiss was sweet and passionate. I wanted the kiss to last forever. I put both my hands on either sides of his thighs. Neither of us wanted to pull away. He pulled away, taking his shirt off. I smirk and begin kissing him again. His member kept rubbing against mine, causing him to sweet, sweet sounds I loved hearing. I leaned up, taking my shirt off. He bit his lower lip and stared down. I moved him on his back and started kissing him again. He deepened the kiss. I moved away, kissing his neck. His hand lightly grips at my hair. 𝗕𝗁𝗁. His legs wrap around my waist, pulling me closer. I've wanted to do this for so long. He kisses me with need and lust. 𝗔𝗂𝘁𝗵𝗆. I need you. He looked at me with desperation and lust. Izuku laid asleep beside me. I sat there thinking, what did I just do? I wake up with me being naked and my lower half hurting like hell. That's when I remembered what happened last night. My face turned beet red. I turned to see 2 pills and a glass of water. I blush even more. But my heart drops when I realizing, does this count as an affair? Oh my god. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝙁𝗎. The only reason, okay, not the reason, but it was because of those stupid pills the doctor prescribed me. He said they'll make my SXL or, I don't know. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I don't like the feeling of feeling bad. But I had SEC with my who has AI just partook in cheating. I try to get up and take a shower but horribly fall. I slowly and painfully walk, get my clothes on. Why the F does this hurt so bad? I held onto my doorknob. Why does this hurt? I opened the door and just lingered around my door, contemplating if I can stand seeing Asuna after what happened. I felt arms wrap around my waist, pulling me back. I turn around, meeting eyes with Kaken. Kaken. I'm sorry if I went too far. I blushed, looking away. I'm fine, I just need to take a shower. She smirks. Now that I think about it, me too. No way, he's not getting in with me. Out of nowhere he picks me up. Even though we're not dating and we may or may not be cheating, I can't help but do all these things when I'm around him. We get to the showers and he takes off my clothes. I blush, looking away. He takes off his and we get in. He put shampoo in his hair, twirling it in my hair. He shaped my hair into a mohawk. I giggled, it messed it up. Next, her made my hair look like All Might. I laughed but cringed, not wanting to think of while I'm showering. When we got out, he put us both in towels. He picked me up again and set me in my room. I'll be back. I got changed and waited for him to come back. I smiled to myself, thinking about the past few hours. He came back running on the bed, making the bed fly me up. He laughed, laying down next to me. I couldn't stop think about Asuna. Kaken, what about Asuna? He stayed still, looking at me. I don't know. I'll take care of it. I feel bad. She tried everything in her power to become friends with me, and here I am repaying her with cheating with her boyfriend. She was so nice to me, and behind her back I'm 𝗕. He moves my hair out of my eyes. Don't think about it that way. But there's no other way to think about it. He kisses me. I of course kiss him back. I love you. I love you too, nerd. Do I really though? Love him. After everything, of course I'm still not over him, but we're doing things not the right way. See, can we watch something? My body still hurts. I roll over and I glare at him. This morning I thought about killing you for being so rough. He smirks at me. I instantly know he's going to say something that'll embarrass me. I hate how easy he makes me feel embarrassed, flustered, and shy. Yeah, but you liked it? He leaned down and whispered into my ear, you know the way you kept screaming my 𝗕. Shut up. All of a sudden there was a knock on my door. I groaned, getting up and opening the door. midoriya, have you seen Katsuki? I haven't seen him since this morning. She walks in being uninvited. I was confused on how Kaken was just on my bed, but now he's gone. Nope, haven't seen him. I join her sitting on the bed. She starts crying and puts her head on shoulder. I'm not sure how to do these kinds of things. I don't even know how to handle my own emotions. I awkwardly pet her hair. There. I'm sure he's fine. She shakes her head. It's not that. Lately Katsuki and I have been really distant lately, ever since you came back. I look at her weird. What are you trying to say? I narrow my eyes at her. Have you guys been secretly planning my birthday? My eyes widen in realization. Oh, you got us. I start looking around for Kaken. I'm just really worried about Katsuki. Maybe he's on a jog. She stood up quickly. You're right. Thanks, midoriya. She ran out the room. I groaned, falling back on the bed. Kaken came out of the closet. Why are girls like that? He sighs, sitting next to me. Seeing Asuna cry like that after I just had AC with her boyfriend honestly kills me. I feel bad for Asuna. She seems worried about you. Ever since I came back, I feel like I've been ruining everything for people. Ruining the good things people have just because I feel shitty about myself. My eyes starts to water but I force myself not to cry. Izu. What's wrong? I feel horrible for what I'm doing to Asuna. He grabs my hand. I know. He glances over at my pills. Did you take your pills? I freeze, totally forgetting about them. I'm just now getting used to them and my mom would usually be the one to remind me. I shake my head. He gives me 2 of them with a cup of water. He sits down next to me, rubbing my back, reassuring me that it's okay. I didn't want to be back with Kaken like this. Sooner or later this horrible secret will unravel for everyone to see. Kissing face pile of poo. It's been about a week since everything happened between Kaken and I. We literally threw a very unplanned birthday for Asuna. Kaken wanted to do it for her, which my guilt constantly kept beating me up, so I volunteered to help. No matter how much I feel guilty about it, I still continue to do all these things with Kaken. We may or may not have done 6 other times. Still counting. Yes, I feel bad for Asuna, but I am selfish. I'm greedy, rude, selfish, ungrateful, and many other things. I can't help it though. It's hard changing who you are as a person. I had CC someone's boyfriend multiple times. I yelled at my 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝗍𝗔 mother on multiple occasions. I push everyone away who tries helping me. I look at someone and automatically decide that I hate them. Sometimes I hate me as a person too. Sometimes I wonder if I'm only using Kaken to satisfy me, or if I shove everyone away just so I have an excuse to be suddy, clench my fists under the desk. I was so mad with myself, and of course today was one of those days. The 504 kids had a blend schedule with class 1. The teachers are starting to do this regularly. I contemplate whether I should just get up and leave and take the stupid consequence that comes with it or stay there. I turn and stare out the window and sit through it. Wait, since when do I care? I get up, slinging my bag over my shoulder, and start heading out. Midoriya dash. I slammed the door on Izawa while he was talking. My thoughts can make me so mad, sad. I hate it. Halfway back to the dorms, I start break down, crying right where I stand. I hate myself so much. Why am I the way I am as a person? Why can't I smile and have a good conversation without me ruining it with my constant back talk or constant bluntness, or just without me being in? But I groan at the fact I'm crying in front of people. I wipe my eyes, quickly rushing to the dorms. I go in my room and scramble around with the things in my drawer, finding my pills. I quickly swallow 2 and feel the tiredness wash over me. I take my shoes off and get in bed, covering half my face with the blankets. I stare at my door in the barely lit bedroom. I close my eyes, going to sleep for who knows how long. Midoriya dash. He slams the door on Izawa, talking. What the hell is wrong with him? Ever since a few days ago he's been acting really weird. Who knows Midoriya best? Izawa said. A few people turned and looked at me. Bakugo, go check on Midoriya? I nodded, getting up and leaving. My guess is he's probably at the dorms, or some park maybe. I finally spot his green hair. I start running towards him but stop when I see him stop in the middle of walking. He starts crying, which breaks my heart. I don't get why he does this. He cries when people aren't around to see him cry. Well, people he knows at least. It hurts me knowing this because he pushes the way he feels to the side. He groans and wipes his eyes, quickening his pace. I decided to just see what else he'd do. When he got in his room, I heard loud shuffling. I heard bottle pills shaking. Then it all stopped. I waited 10 more minutes until I'd go in, only to see him asleep in his bed. I move the hair out of his eyes. I caress his cheek. Watching him sleep is really relaxing. I swear I'm not a crazy stalker, it just is. He looks at peace when he sleeps. When he's awake he seems so bothered with everything around him. He seems bothered the most when he's thinking. I think about the times we've had SEC with each other. 6 times. I feel like SHT for doing it right behind Asuna's back, but I love him. I love his laugh, his smile, his jokes, his body, the noises he makes in bed. I smirked to myself and got in bed with him. I wrapped my arm around his waist, pulling him closer to me. I don't know what to do. I love this boy, and there's no one or nothing that will change that. I think I need to talk to Asuna. For real this time. Clown face. I woke us to a arm securely wrapped around my waist. I already knew it was Kaken. Unless it's some stalker weirdo. I turn around, hugging him. He groans and starts waking up. Hey nerd. Hi. He kisses my cheek and stares at me. What do you want? I don't like it when he can make me feel all these emotions no else has. Why were you crying earlier? I was confused. If he means earlier I didn't even know he was near me. So you're stalking me now? No. When decided to get up and walk out of class, Izuku sent me to check on you. You've been acting off for a few days. What's wrong? I've told him multiple times what's wrong and he can't seem to understand it. He knows I hate repeating things and hate talking about my feelings. It's annoying. You're mumbling. He sighs and hugs me tighter. I'm sorry, okay? It's just confusing the way you are. I sit up glaring at him. What's that supposed to mean? He sits up facing me. You act like you're all alone. You have me to help you dash. And have Asuna. I feel my eyes start to sting. Tears were threatening to spill. Why do you act like this? Like, okay, maybe I said it more meaner than I wanted to, but I was kinda mad. Like and but. You act like and but. You always run away from every good thing in your life. You always run from your problems. You can't be nice to anyone for a few minutes without making a rude remark. Anyone who getting close to you, you shove them down and insult them. I don't get you sometimes, Izuku. That was very honest. The truth hurts. I didn't say anything. I sat there glaring at him with tears rushing down my face. Can you go? I didn't want to lash out on him like every other time. I didn't want shove him away, so he says. Izuku, I'm sorry, dash. Just shut up. You said it, you meant it, there's nothing you can do about it, now can you go? I looked at him the same way I look at people I don't like. I said go. He sat there staring at me for a few seconds before getting to leaving. We can barely have a conversation without me being in, but what he said was true, but it hurt even more that he said it directly to me. It hurt even more hearing it from him out of all people. It makes me wonder if he thought this for a while. I stand outside his door regretting what I had just said. He looked so hurt but tried covering it up. I meant to say it more gentle. Katsuki, you idiot. I knocked on the door wanting to apologize to him. I really didn't mean to say it so harsh. He's going through a lot and that's not how I wanted to say it. He didn't answer. I decided to just leave him alone and give him some time. I walk into the living room to see Asuna and Jiro talking on the couch. Hey Katsuki. Asuna waved at me. I waved at her back, not saying anything. Is everything okay? I looked down, not wanting to look at her. Now Katsuki, tell her. Asuna, can we talk? She gave me a confused look but nodded. We walked into a hallway away from everyone. What did you want to talk about? This is so much harder than what I thought in my head. I start to slightly panic. Jay just wanted to say I love you. She smiled and kissed me. Silly, I already know that. She walked away back into the living room. You're dumbass Katsuki. It's been 2 hours since I checked in on Izuku. I cooked him food and knocked on his door. He opened the door and smiled at me. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗏𝗏. I heard loud audible laughing. His face turned super red. Here. I handed him the food and walked in. 𝗕𝗁𝗁𝗏. The dude on his laptop was still laughing. So was his only friend he liked in America. Why you're a stuttering MS when you're around him? He says between laughs. I smirk at Izuku and he's pretty much a glow stick right now. Okay, bye Koyo. He shuts his laptop. Did he try anything dash? No Kaken. He laughs and hugs me. I'm really sorry about what I said dash. Don't apologize. It's fine, I'm over it and you should be too. I didn't want him to completely push that conversation away. What I said was really up. But he insisted on dropping it. I tried talking to Asuna. I say the complete wrong thing. He doesn't say anything for a little bit. I feel bad. I know I keep saying it, but I do. I kiss his forehead and sigh. I know I'll fix it now, eat your food. 1 week later, I sat in class bored out of my mind. I look around seeing Asuna laughing with Kaken. You've got to be kidding me. How can he just sit there laughing with her like he totally isn't cheating on her for the past 2 months, may I add? Feel horrible about this whole thing and I don't really care about other people, yet I do feel bad. She smiles and laughs all day, putting her trust in Kaken only for him to F it all up because of me. Because couldn't keep my hands off boyfriend. Kaken and I made eye contact, making me immediately look away. Dismissed. I got up packing my stuff. Deku? I'll talk to her, okay? He always knows what's going through my head, well, sometimes at least. I feel like I'm putting pressure on him with this whole 𝗕𝗁𝙢𝗎𝗍 thing. I turn around, coming face to face with him. I'm sorry if I'm putting all this pressure on you. It's just I feel bad and I try putting myself in her shoes and, it's fine, Deku. We walked to the dorms together. On our way to the dorms we saw Asuna talking with 𝗔𝗫𝗁. She made eye contact with us and waved, flashing us a smile. I gave her a small wave, not bothering to return the smile back. Kaken let out a long sigh. I'll do it tonight. Tonight. That's soon. Oh gosh. Kaken dash. I said I'll do it tonight. He doesn't have to be so mean about it. When we got back to the dorms I went to my room to change out of my uniform. If I'm being completely honest right now, I am scared as hell. Just the though of telling Asuna I was cheating on 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙢𝗫𝗍. I changed out of my uniform and went into the living room where I saw shitty hair. I really needed to tell someone what was happening. Especially because I've just kept everything in, only telling the nerd. I walked up to him asking if we could talk. He suspiciously followed me to my room. So did you like commit a crime? 'Cause you never come to me asking if we could talk. He's so dumb. I explained to him everything that happened ever since Izuku came back. What? Oh my gosh. 𝗕𝗫𝗁𝙢𝗫𝗍, that's crazy. You and 𝗕𝗫𝗁 you're dating, my brain hurts. It's not that hard to wrap around your head. All he is dumb. And you're going to tell Asuna tonight? I nodded my head. Oh god, I'm scared for you. But whatever happens I'll have you back, man. 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏 I haven't seen Deku at all for the past few hours. I went in his room seeing him watching TV. Is what you were doing for the past few hours? I laid down next to him seeing what he was watching. It's a good show. After half an hour of watching that stupid show with him it was around 7 p.m. But I really just needed a distraction right now. I turn and stare at him. Stop staring at me, 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏, third POV. Both boys got the distraction they needed. Minutes later they both slipped their clothes back on. It's sort of funny that Katsuki is about to confess to cheating right after he had SEC with the boy he's cheating with. But hey, teenagers, and there am I right. Katsuki walked out into the living not expecting to see Asuna. Just get it the F over with. He kept trying to think of what the hell to even say until he just blurted out her name. Yes, babe. Holy f, can we? Should he started off with this, it's not you, it's mean whole thing. Asuna. Should I be straightforward? I've been keeping something for you for a while now. I want you to know you're super great. What the F, Katsuki? You're super great. Look, I've been cheating on you with Izuku for the past few months. I tightly shut my eyes waiting for her to either. Yet none of those came. Instead, she shocked the hell out of me with what she said. XXXX. I went back to the nerd's room still shocked. What? I told her. He paused his show and stared in shock. Are you okay? I'm thrilled. I went back to the nerd's room still shocked. What? I told her. He paused his show and stared in shock. Are you okay? I'm thrilled. Asuna stared at Katsuki. Well, that makes two of us. Just not with Midoriya. I also have a confession. I've been cheating on you with 𝗔𝗫𝗁 for the past few months too. I was meaning to tell you but was too scared. He stared at her in shock. They both started to laugh. Both were so relieved. So I guess that's it, huh? I guess so. After a few more minutes of talking they both decided to be on good terms with each other. Katsuki has never been so excited to be cheated on before. What? So he tried processing it all. I'm so glad. I never expected it but I'm glad. Wow, okay, so what now? What now? I had an idea in mind. Well, will you go out with me? A smile was plastered on his face as he leaned in to kiss me. Of course. Time skip, 1 year later, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. All families in the crowd cheered. They finally did it. They graduated. Katsuki ran up to Izuku and tackled him into a hug. The two boys smiled brightly as they shared a kiss. High school was one hell of a journey for the two. I'm proud of you, Izuku. Izuku immediately turned around seeing Koyo. He stared in shock as tears ran down his face. The two friends shared a long hug making Katsuki slightly jealous. I didn't see you. When did you get here? Koyo lightly laughed seeing his friend so happy to see him. Today actually. I could never miss this day. Inko huddled the three boys and took at least 20 pictures. I'm proud of you cats, he hugged both his parents. Now let's go celebrate. The two boys promised to stay in contact with everyone in Class 1A. After taking pictures as a class, they all piled into the car. Koyo's parents, Katsuki's parents, and Izuku's mother were all enjoying their conversation. They all sat in the large booth as the restaurant volume increased because of the three families. What are they going to do now? College. They're adults now, all 18. Once their feast at the restaurant was done, they went to Katsuki's house where the adults drank and laughed together. The three boys went upstairs as Katsuki pretty much interrogated Koyo, only knowing that he's Izuku's best friend, and Izuku talks to him 19 hours out of each day. Kaken, okay, you don't have to do that with every friend I have. Sure I do. It felt so nice to Izuku. This feeling he was feeling. His best friend is here, the boy he loves in with him, his family are downstairs laughing with each other, he's graduated, this felt so right. Sure, high school was hell for him, but everything started getting way better. Clown face 𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗔𝗫. May came in the room as she joined the conversation. She grew very fond of the two boys in front of her. Besides her brother, of course. Koyo was planning on staying at an Airbnb with his parents for this whole week. Izuku gets to see his best friend in person for a whole week, is so happy. Once it got dark out, the parents went home promising to see each other the next day. Though of course Izuku stayed with Katsuki. They laid in bed enjoying each other's company. I love you, Katsuki stared at him slightly shocked. He leaned down giving him a small kiss. I love you too. Time skip, 2 years, the laughing of Izuku Midoriya boomed all throughout the room. The last 4 years being together with Katsuki has been so amazing for him. They go to college and even live together. Katsuki is in school for business and Izuku is in school studying to be a child psychologist. No way did 𝗕𝗁𝗏𝗍𝗕 ever be this happy. Little did he know he was about to be so much more happier. Kaken, stop that. Izuku laughed. Izuku made Katsuki the luckiest, most happiest, most amazing man in the world. He still can't believe all those years ago he forgot about him. Come on, we have to hurry. Izuku mocked Katsuki's words from a few minutes ago. Fine, Katsuki groaned, giving him one last kiss. All Izuku knows is that Katsuki wanted to do a last-minute trip somewhere. Oh yeah, Katsuki surprised Izuku with tickets to somewhere he's always wanted to been, which is where they are at the moment. They took a week off school and work. Izuku was so confused by this sudden thing, but hey, he wasn't complaining at all. Where did you want to go, bad Kaken? Just be patient, okay? The Eiffel Tower was in view as Izuku stared in awe. Wow. They've only been in Paris for a few days, so they haven't quite seen the Eiffel Tower yet. Katsuki led him out the car to a specific spot. His heart was racing so damn fast. Of course there was other people there. It was an appealing night in front of the Eiffel Tower. The tower glowed the most appealing color ever. Izuku gasped when he saw the Eiffel Tower and the waters suddenly glow purple. Everyone gasped at the purple color, being a little confused. Kaken. Look, it's so pretty, Katsuki smiled to himself. It was so hard to convince them to do this for this one thing for Katsuki. Izuku stared at the Eiffel Tower, staring at his favorite color. Yeah, you'd think it'd be green. Nope. It's purple. Izuku saw rose petals of all colors around him. He was so confused. Why is this all happening? The people around gasped as they had no clue what was happening until they saw the two boys in the middle of everything. Everyone except for an oblivious Izuku Midoriya saw what was coming. They all stared at their hearts felt all warm. Katsuki grabbed the boy's hands and started at him with complete love. Izuku, over the past years it's been well for the both of us. I get I've done things you could have never forgave me for, yet you did. You've made me feel all kinds of emotions. Knowing you were by my side gave me so much more confidence. He got on one knee as the crowd around them gasped. What I'm trying to say is I am ready to see you by my side for the rest of my life. I know I want to hear your stupid jokes. I know I want to wake up and you be the first person I see. I know that I will love you forever. Katsuki couldn't help but fail to hold back his tears. He wiped his eyes and continued his speech. Will you marry me? Izuku stared in complete shock. All this for Izuku started to cry. He covered his face in embarrassment, just now noticing everyone after his attention was in the boy in front of him. Please. Of course I will. Katsuki let out a shaky breath. The crowd around them applauded and congratulated them. The two shared an appealing kiss and Katsuki slid the ring on his now fiancé. So this is why all this was happening. Gosh, he's so dense. Izuku couldn't stop crying. I'm just so happy. That's all Katsuki wanted. To see him happy. The second they got back to the hotel, they had the rest of their trip in Paris was nothing but happiness for the two. The second they got back to Japan, Izuku came running in his mother's house. Izuku, you're back. I'm so glad. Of course, Inko knew what was going to happen. It made her so happy. A month before all this, Katsuki asked Inko for her blessing to marry her son. She was so happy to hear that. You know those cheesy couples videos on the internet? Yeah, well, their video of Katsuki proposing is going viral. Who'd ever think that? The video was shared to Mitsuki and then to which she started crying too. Both families were so happy for their sons. Inko screamed as she saw the appealing ring. They talked for a few more minutes until Izuku went to take a shower. Of course, he still had clothes at his mom's house. Inko and Katsuki were talking in the living room together when she brought something up. Thank you, Katsuki. Ever since I heard you two were dating back in high school, I saw just how happy you really made him. I know you'll love and protect him. So thank you for loving my Izuku. There should be a GIF or video here. Update the app now to see it. You may now seal your marriage with a kiss. The two shared a passionate loving kiss as everyone cheered. They're really married now, all at the age of 21. Izuku's vows to him was such a mess. He kept stuttering and making the crowd laugh. Not on purpose, he was just visibly nervous. I love you so much. Izuku gave him a bright smile, giving him a kiss. I love you too. Today was their day. The most happiest day. They officially share the same last name. Of course, Koyo was here too. No way in hell would he miss this day. Pictures. I need pictures. Mei was stuffing her face with cake as Inko and Mitsuki ran around getting people ready for the pictures. Izuku never thought a person could ever get this lucky, this happy, or be this loved. Katsuki filled his empty void he was desperately trying to fill himself. Katsuki showed him what being loved meant. He showed him that he wasn't alone, that he could rely on someone else. He taught him that it's to feel sad. It's okay to feel guilty, but he also taught him that it's not his fault for everything that happened. It was never his fault. They danced together the whole night. They truly are meant for each other. They were each other's best friends. They shared everything with each other, down to every last secret. They knew each other like the back of their hands. 3 years later, the appealing couple, now living in an appealing home in an appealing neighborhood, pursued their dream jobs. It's like everything someone ever wanted in life they have. I mean, they're happy, extremely happy, stayed together for the past 7 years, have their dream job, don't need to worry about money, have an appealing house. It's perfect. When Katsuki got home from work, he saw how dinner was cooked for him. Last year, Izuku begged him to teach him how to cook. Katsuki will always keep this as a secret. Bud's pretty bad at cooking. Only things he's good at. Like katsudon, it's pretty crappy but still good. He smiled to himself and called out to his hubby, to which he came running downstairs into his arms. How was work? Good. Katsuki planted a kiss on his head. He went upstairs, changing out of his work clothes before eating. Izuku stared at him as he ate his food. Already knowing how Izuku was, Katsuki asked him what he needed. So, you know how for the past year I've been asking you if you would ever be, interested in adopting a kid? Katsuki saw that coming from a mile away. Honestly, Katsuki was ready. He's just been putting it off, scared of the thought of being I will give you anything you want. Izuku stared in shock. Really? Katsuki nodded his head and continued to eat his food. Izuku got up, planting kisses all over his face, making him laugh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The very next day they went to the foster center after Izuku begged him for the past hour. Hello. You guys must be the couple who called yesterday, yes? Izuku aggressively nodded his head, being too excited. Behind Katsuki's back, he already filed a process application to file a background check. Because Izuku knew it would take months for them to fully go over the background check and he just couldn't wait months. The lady showed them all around until they got to a certain wing for kids. Izuku immediately met eyes with a young boy no older than 5. The boy immediately looked away, being too scared to look at Izuku. Izuku immediately felt a connection with the boy. He slowly approached the boy who was alone playing by himself. "Hello." Izuku gave him a smile, his cheerful voice scaring him. "Hello." His voice was just barely a whisper. "My name's Izuku. Yours?" Izuku lowered his voice, seeing how scared the boy was. "And my name is 𝗕𝗫𝗁." 𝗕𝗫𝗁 had black curly hair with the most piercing yet soft, gentle red eyes ever. "I like that name, 𝗕𝗫𝗁. You see that man over there?" Izuku turned around, pointing to Katsuki, who was talking with the lady. 𝗕𝗫𝗁 tilted his head, seeing Katsuki. He slowly nodded his head. "That's my husband. You see, since we're both boys, we can have babies." The boy in him lightly laughed. His laugh was the most gentlest thing in the world. "How long have you been here?" "For 2 years. 2 years. He's so cute and precious. Who wouldn't want to adopt 𝗕𝗫𝗁?" Izuku gave him a smile, making 𝗕𝗫𝗁 feel like he could trust him. "I'll be back, 𝗕𝗫𝗁." He went back to Katsuki, where he excused himself from the conversion with the lady. "You see that boy over there? His name is 𝗕𝗫𝗁. He's been here for 2 years and he can't leave him here. I don't know, I just sorta see myself in him." He glanced back at the boy who was still playing cars with himself. Katsuki walked up to the kid as 𝗕𝗫𝗁 immediately felt the strong, dominating confidence radiating off Katsuki, making 𝗕𝗫𝗁 a bit scared. "Hey kid, hello." The closer Katsuki got, the more he realized what Izuku was saying by how he saw himself in him. They both sorta share the same shyness and have the same type of hair, just different color. Katsuki was slightly shocked himself, seeing how they shared the same color eyes. He's never seen someone with the same shade before. "My name's Katsuki." Out of nowhere, 𝗕𝗫𝗁 smiled to himself. "You're his husband?" That smile made Katsuki smile himself. "Yam." Izuku joined the two as they talked together for half an hour. Once again, Izuku pulled Katsuki aside. Before Izuku could even say anything, Katsuki interrupted. "Let's adopted 𝗕𝗫𝗁." Katsuki saw so much pureness in the kid. He felt attached to him within minutes. Izuku smiled to himself. He took the words out of his mouth. They talked with the lady and she was shocked to hear that they wanted to adopt 𝗕𝗫𝗁. Wow, he really is a sweetheart. He'll be able to come home with you guys in 3 days. But as of right now, I need you guys to sign some paperwork. She gave the two a smile as she went in the back getting the paperwork. Izuku turned to Katsuki, giving him a small smile. He groaned his head. "Go." "Thank you." Izuku went back to play with 𝗕𝗫𝗁 as Katsuki was left to file the paperwork. "XXXXX, you're going to adopt me?" 𝗕𝗫𝗁's voice rang through the halls. The two smiled, nodding their heads. His eyes started to water. "You're a good kid, 𝗕𝗫𝗁. You do deserve to be happy, you know." Without hesitation, he hugged the two. He wasn't tall enough, but he just embraced them. 3 days later, 𝗕𝗫𝗁 couldn't stay still in the car ride home. He was just so happy. His new parents, Izuku and Katsuki, were so sure about 𝗕𝗫𝗁 they only needed a few minutes to make their mind up. When they pulled into the driveway, 𝗕𝗫𝗁's eyes lit up, seeing the appealing 2-story houses with light brown paint, freshly cut green grass, the tulips in front of the house. It was appealing. During the 3 days, Katsuki and Izuku decorated a room, with the house being a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. When he stepped in, he immediately smelled the welcoming smell of fresh baked cookies. The house was so neat, clean, and so appealing in the inside. He's never been in a home like this. "Is this my new home?" "Yes, 𝗕𝗫𝗁." He stood there taking it all in before running around the house exploring it. This was nothing like the shy boy from the foster center, and they loved it. "Is this my room?" he yelled from upstairs. "Yes, 𝗕𝗫𝗁." Tears rolled down his face as he hesitantly sat on the bed, feeling him sink in how comfortable it was. "I love it." Izuku went upstairs, checking on him to see him crying. Izuku hugged him, feeling so happy. "Thank you so much." Izuku felt his heart flutter in happiness. He felt so complete. 1 year later. "Come on, 𝗕𝗫𝗁, we're going to be late." "Coming." 𝗕𝗫𝗁 ran down quickly, tying his shoes. "Kaken, are you sure? I mean, I could drive him." "You'll be late if you do." "I still have 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm sure. Izuku gave Katsuki a small kiss. Ready, kid? Kira nodded his head. Love you, Kira. Love you too. He yelled from outside. He went upstairs making Kira's bed knowing he forgot to again. The past year with Kira has been amazing. He's such a bright kid. Kira and Izuku convinced Katsuki to buy a dog. Only if Katsuki could be the one to name it. Come here, Rogue. Rogue ran to him as Izuku pet him. He turned off all the lights in the house before leaving for work. When everyone was back from work and school, Katsuki made lunch for everyone. You know, Kak and I could also help you with dinner. Katsuki let out a laugh. And you burn down the house while you're at it. Izuku rolled his eyes. He's not that bad. The two shared a small kiss. The two kinda broke the vase with the flowers in it. Kira yelled from upstairs, earning a sigh from both boys. Just pick it up, okay? Okay. The two stood in the kitchen and let out a laugh. You really make me happy, Kak, and Katsuki gave him a kiss lasting a bit longer than the last. Pleading face, red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart.